All right, and I believe that I'm live, family. Peace and power. This is your sister, Dr. Oya Ma'at, coming before you today with some concerns that are on my mind. This week alone, I was sent four stories that involve the murder of Black children by way of Black men. Now, these Black men were either the boyfriends or husbands to these Black women. And these Black women have allowed these men or invited these men into their home. And these men have sexually assaulted the children, murdered the children, or raped or molested the children. And I want to talk about that today. And I want to have an open, candid conversation with Black mothers. So I entitled the show, Dear Black Mothers, Stop Putting Your Children in Danger. Now, a lot of you might say, well, Dr. Ma'at, you're saying you're saying Black mothers as if all Black mothers put their children in danger. So let me offer this caveat. I'm not saying that all Black mothers put their children in danger, but there is an element of Black women who do put their children in danger because of the decisions they make regarding the men of their choice. All right, so I'm gonna play these clippings. I'm gonna go through a few stories today. One story is out of Baltimore, Maryland. So let me share my screen for you, family. And if you are a Black woman, please click the link and join the show. If you are a Black woman, please click the link and join the show. So this is a story right out of Baltimore. It just happened a few days ago. Two parents are now in custody for the death of their 5-month-old son. So I'm going to play the video for you, but let me give you a quick synopsis of what took place. So there was a guy that was considered legally blind who lived in Baltimore. And apparently he was beating his 5-month-old son. Once the son died and was taken into custody to perform like an autopsy on the son, they found old wounds inside, old bruises inside of the body of the son, which meant that this was an ongoing thing in the household. Now, a few days ago, the authorities weren't, they didn't know whether they were going to charge the mother in this case. But today they decided, I think it was either today or yesterday, they decided to charge the mom. You want to know why, family? Because the mother knew about it. The mother already knew that this kid, her 5-month-old son was being abused by his father and did nothing about it. So let me roll the clip, family. Let me roll the clip.
Tez Rodriguez-McKenzie says that her baby grandson, Emmanuel Johnson, was supposed to have no contact with his father, Perry Nelson Johnson, the man who police say abused and murdered the 5-month-old.
Wait a minute, family. So I just want to bring to your attention. Now, you just heard the news commentators say that this father was supposed to have no contact with the son. Now, let me resume.
Nelson Johnson is in police custody, and Wednesday, police say they also arrested Emmanuel's mother, Angelique Petty, on charges of child abuse contributing to her baby's death. Rodriguez-McKenzie is Angelique Petty's mother. She's had custody of the couple's 3 other children since last year. She claims a child protective services worker witnessed Nelson Johnson in the house with Emmanuel just a week before he died.
They knew in advance, she's had previous cases, that they should have been checking in on them, making sure she was doing all that she was supposed to be doing, making sure that he was not around. He was not supposed to have contact with her or the baby.
A CPS spokesperson told us they can't comment on the case. An autopsy showed that Emmanuel had severe head trauma.
Severe head trauma, family. So first of all, this guy, the father of the child, was not supposed to have contact with this little boy because there were already previous incidents. But the mother allowed him to be around this child. Note, the mother allowed him to be around this child, even though there were previous incidents of abuse.
And new and old injuries throughout his body. Police believe that Nelson Johnson, who is partially blind, might have used his guide stick to inflict some of the baby's injuries. Rodriguez Mackenzie says she holds her daughter responsible for her part in the tragedy, but she blames Child Protective Services as well.
Do your job. Get out there. If you see something, tell it.
So now this Black woman, this is the mother, this is the grandmother now, okay, being interviewed by WBAL TV, and she's blaming Child Protective Custody. And she's saying, hey, they knew that some things were going on in the household and they should have been doing their job. No, you know who should have been doing their job? The mother of the 5-month-old son. See, there needs to be accountability. And what I'm seeing in the Black community, I'm speaking specifically about the Black community because I am a part of the Black community, because a lot of people like to deflect when we talk about things or when we talk about problems in the Black community. You hear folks say, oh, well, it happens in other communities. I'm not concerned with other communities. I'm concerned with the Black community. And what I noticed that inside of the Black community, we deflect, there's no accountability. So the grandmother is on TV saying, oh, well, Child Protective Services, they already knew that some things were going on in the household and they should have responded. No, your daughter should have responded by not allowing this guy or the father, this abuser, around her child. Let me resume.
Know something, do something about it right then and there. Let's not have another child go through something like this. It's too much.
And so Child Protective Services issued this statement to 11 News today. It says, we at the Baltimore City Department of Social Services, along with the rest of Baltimore, are grieving the loss of baby Johnson. However, we cannot comment on specific cases, including we cannot confirm or deny the presence of an investigation. Reporting live at Baltimore City Police Headquarters tonight, Kai Reed, WBAL TV 11 News.
Okay, family. So wait a minute. This is loading another story. But let me go down here to why they're charging the mom. I want to read this. So he was charged. Okay, so he was charged. Nelson Johnson. They charged him with first and second degree murder, first and second degree assault, first degree child abuse resulting in death, first degree child abuse causing severe physical injury, second degree child abuse, custodial, reckless endangerment, dangerous weapon with intent to injure. It says Nelson Johnson turned himself into police Tuesday morning. Now, it says further investigation also led to the arrest of 27-year-old Angelique Petty, the infant's mother. All right. Detectives discovered evidence that Petty knowingly, I just want to repeat that again, that Petty knowingly endangered the infant and have her charged with the following. So she's now in custody and has been charged with first degree assault, first degree child abuse resulting in death, first degree child abuse causing severe physical injury, second degree child abuse, custodial, conspiracy to commit first degree child abuse causing severe physical injury, conspiracy to commit first degree child abuse resulting in death, conspiracy to commit first degree assault, conspiracy to commit second degree child abuse custodial. All right. So initially, now let me stop sharing my screen with you, family. Let me stop sharing my screen with you. All right. So initially, they charged the guy, the father, I forgot his name, Johnson. They charged him with the infant's death. But then as they investigated, they found out that this woman, the mother, knew that this abuse was going on, and they came back and they charged her. So she knowingly, and that word is very important to me, family. She knowingly endangered her child. Knowingly endangered her baby. So she knowingly subjected her baby to an abuser. We have to get better as Black women. We have to get better with protecting our children. That is the number one rule for a mother, to protect your child. I don't understand. I hear a lot of Black women say that they love their children. Oh, I love my child. Oh, I love my child. But you don't take the time to protect your child. You don't take the time to properly educate and socialize your child. You don't take the time to feed your child a proper diet. You don't do any of the above, but you say that you love your child. I have a hard time believing that. And I'm going to say again, I'm not speaking about all Black mothers, because I know someone will take this video and chop it up and say Dr. Maya is blaming all Black mothers. No, I'm not talking about all Black mothers. I'm talking about an element of Black women who do not protect their babies. That's what this conversation is about. And as a mother, that is your number one. That is one of the highest priorities that you have, to protect your children. And all mothers know this. I mean, even mothers in the animal kingdom know and understand that you have to protect your child. Go into the lion's den and try to pick with a baby cub and see what happens to you. Go try to pick with a baby elephant, a baby orangutan, a baby rabbit, a baby penguin, and see what happened to you. A baby swan and see what happened to you. You have mothers in the animal kingdom who protect their children better than human mothers, human mothers. It's something wrong with that, family. Let me get to the next story. And you know that I normally have a team of sisters. I've never, ever carried a show by myself. But I'm looking at these stories over and over and over and again online, and they're just touching me. And I said that we need to have an open talk. And if you are a Black mother watching this broadcast,
June is Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month.
Wait a minute.
Alzheimer's kills more.
If you are a Black mother watching this broadcast, please click the Google link. And a matter of fact, what I'll do right now is put the Google link. I'll put the Google link in the chat so that anyone who is a Black mother can join me right now to have this open conversation. This open conversation about these Black mothers who are endangering their children. Hold on one second. I'm putting the link in the chat room right now. I just put it in the chat room, family. There's a Google link. So if you are a Black mother and you are watching this broadcast, please join me. Please, I see, shout out to Brother Calvin. You said, Dr. Ma'an, I'm about to email you this clip. I see a lot of brothers in the building. I see some sisters, Cachet Ivy, peace to you, sis. I see Black Melanated Power 187 Television, peace, family. See Alphadale Empress King, peace. Please share this show, because please share this show. Here we go. I want to show this next clip.
Escaping police following the murder. Prosecutors say Singleton sent Stubbs' mother a series of...
All right, hold on, family. Let me get ready to show you another clip, another story. Share my screen. Wait a minute. All right, here we go. Girl 12 screamed, "Daddy, don't," as she was stabbed to death. This is a story right out of Chicago, and I'm going to play the clip for you.
This is Jim. He's a proud hotel owner, but Jim is frustrated. The Rabbit Breeders Convention
Okay, so this is a little commercial. Bear with me, family.
has come to town, and none of the visitors stay in his amazing hotel. Why should you care? Well, they looked on popular websites that don't have his hotel, so you wouldn't have found it either. However, on Trivago, you never rely on one or even several websites, because Trivago searches more than two.
Bear with me, family. It's a little 30-second
The best price.
Little 30-second
Visitors,
commercial.
rabbits, like that about Trivago, and so should you. Hotel, Trivago.
Now breaking news tonight, police have just charged a suspect in the stabbing and beating death of a 12-year-old girl. Alexis Stubbs.
So she was stabbed and beat, family. She was stabbed and beat, but I didn't get to the kicker. Here we go.
Was attacked in the hallway just outside of her apartment on the city's north side. Let's get an update now on that investigation from Eyewitness News reporter Leah Hope.
Alan, just a few minutes ago, we've learned that charges were approved against John Singleton. He will be charged with the first-degree murder of Alexis Stubbs. We've learned that Singleton is currently on parole for an aggravated domestic battery conviction. He was only paroled back in April. To date, he's been in custody since...
Hold on, family. Now, see, this is very, very important. So this 12-year-old girl was stabbed in the hallway of her apartment building by her stepdad. They say that the stepdad was on parole for aggravated assault. So he's on parole. He actually served 3 years in prison, and he was paroled sent to a halfway house, and the mother of this 12-year-old girl allowed him to come inside the home. Let me finish the story.
Early this morning, now formally a suspect, but initially he was only called a person of interest. Today, some in the Sheridan Park neighborhood mourn a 12-year-old girl.
She was a jolly girl, and she died too early, and it breaks my heart.
Alexis Stubbs died last night. She had been beaten and stabbed in the hallway of her building in the 4600 block of North Beacon.
To me, the little girl was tortured and she suffered. So we're going to try to help that family.
Early this morning, Chicago police found a person.
And I just, a part of me, family, I see these folks on the news and they're saying, oh, well, she was a good girl and oh, she was beaten, stabbed, but she was beaten, stabbed in the hallway. And I'm wondering, where was anybody home? Where was the village? Was anybody home in this community when this was going on? You hear a kid outside or in a hallway being beat, stabbed. I'm sure she was screaming. They actually captured her screams on video, or they recorded them because they played it in court a few days ago. So somebody heard something. Here we go.
Of interest, apparently hiding in a nearby portable toilet. Police consider this a domestic situation. It's believed the man has some connection to the girl's mother. Whatever the connection, the incident traumatized other residents of Stubbs' building.
To have an incident like this is heartbreaking, and it just is really very difficult.
Okay, so this was in a building. Now we're confirming it. This was in a building. Where were the other tenants? No one heard the cries of this 12-year-old girl, Daddy, stop. Well, somebody heard it because it was recorded. No, it was recorded.
I called for all of our staff as well as the residents in the building.
One staffer at the building says he has known Stubbs and her mother for years and recalls Stubbs as a toddler visiting the building.
So sweet. She was a sweet girl. She put you in the mind when she was little, Shirley Temple. She had the little curly hair and, she was such a sweet little girl.
Now, just updating this case, John Singleton, 31-year-old, will be charged with the murder of Alexis. He's due in court tomorrow. In the meantime, support is being offered to the 12-year-old's mother, as well as the other residents who may have seen this, but certainly 12-year-old's death. We are live at Area North Police Headquarters. Leah Hope, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Back to the studio.
Okay, Leah, thank you.
All right, family. Let me stop sharing my screen. Let me stop sharing
June is Alzheimer's.
Family. All right. Okay. So in this particular incident, it was his stepdaughter that he stabbed and beat. All right. Now, he did 3 years in prison for strangling her mother. I'm gonna say that to you again, family. This guy, John Singleton, and I'm not talking about John Singleton, the movie director. This guy, John Singleton, did 3 years in prison for choking or allegedly strangling the mother of this 12-year-old girl who he stabbed and beat. All right, he did 3 years in prison. He was paroled, sent to a halfway house. And then after he got released from the halfway house, the same woman that he strangled 3 years ago permitted him to return to the home. I'm going to say that again. The woman that he strangled 3 years ago, she permitted him, upon his release from the halfway house, to return to the home. Not only did he return to the home, he was exposed to her 12-year-old child. Now, the reason why he stabbed and beat the 12-year-old girl is because 2 days after moving back in with the mother, she told him that he had to go. Because in the lease, it says that she cannot have any convicted felons. You can't have convicted felons living in the household with you. So she told him, you have to leave. Now, this is on the phone. They were having a phone conversation. So the mother's out of the house. She's on the telephone with him saying, look, you got to leave because in my lease, there's a clause stating that the tenants cannot have convicted felons living in the home. Now, this is a phone conversation that she's having with him. He's inside of the home with her 12-year-old daughter. And so enraged, he stabbed and he beat and he murdered this 12-year-old girl. Who do I blame? I blame the mother. I blame the mom, because you permitted this guy who strangled you 3 years ago to return to your home, and you subjected your daughter to this. So who's to blame in this situation? The Black mother. She's to blame in this situation because she should have known better. All right, let me move on to the next story. And please, if you are a mother and you are watching this broadcast, please, I put the link, I'll do it again. Please join the discussion. Please join the discussion. Hold on one second. Let me put it in there again. Let me put it in here again. Cache Ivy, sis, please join me, sis. Get on this panel, sis. We got to build anyway. You and I, we normally build on Facebook, but I would love to build with you face to face. But I would say that the mother is dead wrong. All right, so let me bring another story to your attention. Bring another story to your attention, family. I have 2 more stories I want to deal with, and then we're going to open this dialogue up. If you are a Black mother, please get your butt on this panel and let's build. All right, here it is. 4 kids were murdered in Dearborn Heights. Here we go. 4 kids were murdered, all right, in Dearborn Heights, out of Detroit. Here's the story.
Yeah, Joanne and Stephen, and those new details that we are learning late this afternoon are just adding to the horror of this tragedy. According to our sources, the mother in all of this, Faith Green, had been told that her 2 little girls, the youngest, 4 and 6, were just killed, and then she was forced to watch the murders of her 2 oldest children.
So wait a minute. He murdered the 2 youngest children first, and then made the mother watch as he murdered the 2 oldest children.
New details in a heart-wrenching tragedy. 4 siblings found murdered in their Dearborn Heights home. 6-year-old Coy Green, 4-year-old Kaylee Green,
6 and 4. Though they were 6 and 4, 19 and
19-year-old Chadney Allen, and 17-year-old
19 and 17.
Kara Allen. Their mother with cuts to her face and a gunshot to her foot. Sources say the suspect, Gregory Green, killed the children because he was angry with their mother. Around 1:20.
Hold on. Wait a minute. He killed the children because he was angry with the mother. But it gets worse, family. It gets worse.
This morning, police got a 911 call from Gregory Green saying he killed the family.
He called and told the 911. He told them that he killed the family and sat on the step and waited for the police officers to come. But this is something that he's done before, family. Let's get to it.
Is the biological father of the 2 youngest kids and the stepfather to Chadney and Kara. When police got to the house, they found him sitting on the front porch waiting to be arrested. Sources say Green believed his wife was cheating on him. We're told he tied up his stepchildren and Faith in the basement, then put his youngest daughters in the car, manipulated the tailpipe, and killed those girls with the exhaust fumes that filled the car.
Oh, wow. So he put his 2 youngest children in the car, manipulated the tailpipe. So basically they died from carbon monoxide. All right.
According to sources, he put them back in their beds and then went to the basement and...
Oh my goodness, look how sick he was. So after they died inside of the car, he put them back in their beds. Here we go.
Shot his stepchildren, execution style, in front of their mother.
And shot the 2 oldest children, execution style, in front of their mother.
Action News has learned Faith Green has recently filed for divorce. Neighbors and friends knew of a troubled relationship and some red flags.
There were some, but she really didn't share.
Here we go, family, with the community. So, you know, in the previous story, you had the 12-year-old girl in the hallway yelling and screaming as the stepdad is beating her and stabbing her. All right. No one came to her rescue, but yet, you know, they're on TV saying, oh, you know, I knew her. She was a good girl. So now we have residents in this neighborhood saying that there were red flags there. This is the community now. Red flags there, but no one said anything. Here we go.
A whole lot with me, but there were some problems going on in the household from what I understand.
They separated for a little while.
And then she was back maybe 4 or 5 months later, and they've been there ever since.
Sources tell Action News that Green had no intention of killing his wife. They believe he was so angry with her that he wanted her to suffer and live in agony for the rest of her life.
It don't make any sense. Why would somebody do that? You know, I mean, it's I can see you killing yourself or something, but taking kills, why would you do that? It just don't make any sense.
Yeah, just absolutely heartbreaking. Here is another live look outside of the house here on HIP. Late this afternoon, we've been seeing a constant flow of people coming by the house and dropping off stuffed animals and teddy bears here on the steps in front of this house. As for this investigation, we are told that the police have submitted a warrant request to the prosecutor's office, so we could possibly see the suspect in court as early as tomorrow. Live in Dearborn Heights, Anu Prakash for the Now Detroit. Yeah, Joanne.
All right, family. So let me stop sharing my screen with you. Stop sharing my screen with you, family. So you might say, well, Dr. Ma'at, you know, who do you blame in this situation? You know who I blame? The mother. Because let me explain, and I've been keeping up with this story. Let me explain what happened. So he got upset with the mom and killed the 4 children. But what they did not tell you in the news reporting is that he was convicted of killing his pregnant wife almost 17 years ago. Let me say that again. He was previously convicted for killing his pregnant wife. So this man served 15 years in prison for killing his pregnant wife. Came out. 2 years later, he meets another woman. All right. He meets another woman who has 2 older children. They get married. They have 2 children. He gets upset. He snaps. And what does he do? He repeats the same behavior from almost 20 years ago. He killed the 4 children, called 911, and waited on the steps for the police officers to arrive. You want to know what's consistent? The murder that when he murdered his pregnant wife and did 15 years in that case, for that incident, he did the exact same thing. He killed this pregnant wife and called the police, told them that he did it, and sat on the steps and waited for authorities to show up. You might say, well, Dr. So who do I blame in this incident? I blame the Black mother, because you knew that this brother had a history, or you knew that he had a history, or you knew something in his past. You knew that this brother killed a woman who was pregnant. So he had no regard for the woman. He had no regard for the unborn child. But what did you do? You permitted him to come into your home and expose your children to this animal. You did it. In each of these cases, do you see something? In each of these cases, the mother knew. Look at the first case. Look at the first case. The guy beat the baby with his cane, and the mother knew that he was in there beating his 5-month-old son, and they said she knowingly endangered her son. That was the first case right here in Baltimore. In the second case, the mother was strangled by this guy who did 3 years for it. He comes home and she permits him to come inside of the household and subjects her children to the same man who strangled her. In this third case, the mother knew that this guy served 15 years in prison for murdering his wife and unborn child. And you still permitted him to come inside of your household, and subject your 2 children to him, and then laid down and had 2 more babies with this psycho. So who do I blame right now? I blame you, Black woman. I blame you. And let me offer this caveat again, because I know someone is going to take this clip and say, oh man, I went in on Black women. I'm talking about there is an element of Black mothers who do not protect their children. Facts. And then a lot of people get mad at Tommy Sotomayor. Oh, there you go, sis. Sis, you know I'm in my feelings. Sis, you know that normally I'm like, I can't carry a show by myself. But Sister Riziki, I'm really in my feelings right now.
What happened, sis?
Okay, so I just finished showing. I'm not going to show the clips again, so you had to rewind that. But I've been getting emailed different stories about children being murdered, being molested, being sexually assaulted by stepdads, husbands, and boyfriends. And the mothers know that these men have a track record, Riziki. They know.
Man,
they know, but yet they still allow these men to come inside of their household. What is wrong with you, Black woman? Are you that desperate? I'm blown away right now at these stories. But yet I hear people say, I love my child, I love my child. But you sit and you subject your child to any and everything, anything and everyone. But you say you love your child. Bringing estranged men that you meet off the internet home to meet your damn children. What's wrong with you? Let me show another story, Sister Riziki. I gotta show another. Sister, when I say that I'm heated right now, I was on the phone going off. I was like, Ma, I gotta do a show and address this because this is something we need to talk about as Black women. There is an element among us, Sister Riziki, an element of Black mothers who do not take care of their children. Facts. And then we get mad with people like Tommy Sotomayor for putting this shit on the internet, right? For highlighting these mothers. We get mad at him. Now, granted, I do want to say this. I do not condone his delivery. I think that Tommy, I know why he does it, because he wants to invoke or invoke some emotions in people. So he'll call women black bees and all of that. I don't condone that at all, at all. But I do understand the need to expose this element of women. We need to address this.
We do.
We need to address this. And it's our job to protect our babies. That is your job. And at the beginning of the show, Sister Riziki, I was saying that in the beginning of the show, I said that you have mothers in the animal kingdom who protect their children. And we are above nature. We think that we are above nature, right? It's our job to subdue nature, right? And to subjugate nature. But yet, go into the lion's den right now and try to fuck with a cub.
Right. Oh yeah, it's game over.
And see what that lioness will do to you.
Yeah.
In the elephant kingdom, in the orangutan kingdom, penguins, polar bears. All you got to do is do a quick Google search.
But see this
mothers in the animal kingdom. Go ahead, sis.
But so this is, I got to get on my spiritual tip. But this is the point where we understand, like, just because you have a female anatomy, you know what I mean, doesn't mean you're a woman. There are a lot of women out here who lack that mother instinct. You know what I mean? Like, there's almost every woman that I've talked to, they say, listen, it's something that happens within you when you birth a child. It's like something something snap on. Like there's a certain realization, like, the protection mode comes out, something snaps on. And for some women, it just ain't like that. I've met women who had their baby and then just didn't like them. Like, I don't want them no more. And there's something that's going on with them where there's this disconnection between them being in touch with that like natural nurturing side. And I mean, unfortunately, people think that just because you're a woman, you're naturally going to have a mother instinct. That's not true. Not every woman on this planet was meant to be a mom. Not every woman on this planet naturally connects to that motherly instinct. It's something that's very, spiritual, and it's like you got to be chosen. You know what I mean? Like it's deeper than what people think. And then too, as far as letting the men, in the house, a lot of it's like just they don't want to be lonely, or I mean, it's a sickness, man. It's a total disconnect. Because even though I never birthed a child, there's still something in me that if I, if you leave your children with me, I just automatically, okay, that's my child. Until you can come back, that's my child. Some women just don't have that. And I don't know what happened to them, if it's something that they was born with or not, but it's a disconnect somewhere.
And what I noticed also in each of these stories, I mean, it's the same thing. It's in each case, the mother knew, either she knew that the abuse was already going on, or she knew that this guy had a history of abuse and still subjected her children or their children to these guys. And I'm wondering, like, are you that lonely Black woman that you will settle for anything?
Mm-hmm.
And I agree.
Low self.
Yes, we gotta, and I'm like, sis, and then, when I'm looking at these stories, I see the same thing. People in the community, like, well, we knew something was going on, but we didn't know it was that bad, or there were red flags there. What happened to community intervention? If you know that a kid next door, if you know that something is going on next door, I don't care. That whole no snitching and all that crap. When there are children involved and you know what's going on, call the authorities. If you don't want to get involved and confront, these individuals, call the authorities and tell somebody what's going on in these damn households. What I'm noticing is that it's like a culture of silence, sis, in our communities. It's like, we know something is going on, there are red flags, but we say nothing, we don't act. And then we're on the news saying, well, there were some problems going on, but I didn't know, that it was that serious. But by that time, now you have a dead child in the community.
Yeah, it's it goes back to, again, and I think you mentioned this in a previous show, how we're it's like a selfish mentality where we don't feel like what I do affects somebody else, and that's what I was saying before. We want the benefits of community, but we don't do what it takes to actually make it happen. Like, people don't want to be responsible for other people. People don't want to embrace the fact, well, maybe if something's going on next door, I may have to take in this child for a couple nights or a couple weeks until we figure out what's going on. Like, people ain't got time for that no more. So again, it's like, we want the benefits of community, but we're not willing to put in that work. That takes work. Like, you literally have to care. And some people do care, but they just ain't got the time. I mean, and even with the women, and this happened close to me. There was a person that I knew, and her man was molested. The daughter even came to the mom and told her, but the mom felt like she was lying. And one of the things that the mom was outburst was, while she was in her films, was, well, who's going to take care of me? You see what I'm saying? So it gets to the point where there is a serious issue of self-esteem, lower self-worth. Like you said, you are willing to even make your children suffer for the sake of your happiness. And that's what I said. There's got to be a serious disconnect, man. Like, how could that instinct not kick in?
Yeah, and you made a good point, Sister Riziki. Look at this is my son right here. Say hello. Say what's up.
Hey, peace, King. What's up?
Peace, Queen.
Peace, Queen.
All right.
What do I tell you, Jalen? That nobody is more important than who?
Me.
Huh?
Me.
Nobody's more important than who?
Me.
Why was Meltrek produced? For who?
For me.
Oh, why was the company built? For who?
Me.
For you. Do you have a good diet?
Yes.
Do you eat, a bunch of junk and beef and pork and chicken and all of that?
No.
Do you eat a lot of fresh fruits and fresh vegetables?
Yes.
Do we cook every day for you to make sure that you have a healthy diet?
Yes.
Yes. This is what it's about. Properly mothering your children, protecting your children. And I'm not even, I wish a person would come up in here, Ezekiel. I'm not even going to say, I'm not even going to say in front of my son what I got waiting for him, son. I'm not even going to say it, sis, on the air.
I know.
But as a mother, I will protect my child with my life. Do you hear what I'm saying, Sister Ezekiel? And he knows that he is the most important thing. True or false?
True.
Do I tell you that every day?
Yes.
Yes, I do. You can kiss. Mwah. Now go in there. Go in there and watch Meltrek while I had this conversation.
Okay.
Get a snack. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. Properly rearing our children. Sister Ezekiel, I feel like a lot of these mothers are popping out babies and don't know what the hell to do with them. Don't know how to properly educate them. Don't know how to properly socialize them. Don't know how to feed them a diet, a healthy diet. My son doesn't eat soy. He doesn't eat any soy products. We try to keep him away from soy products. But of course, when you're looking at certain dressings like ranch, Italian dressings and things like that, a lot of them have like soy in it. But we try to keep away from soy products. He's drinking almond milk. When he gets older, he'll be eating the tiger nuts, which maintains a healthy testosterone level in boys. That's very important as a mother. When he's sick, we don't pump him with NyQuil and Tylenol and those things. We heal him with herbs. We give ginger tea, garlic tea to build up the antibodies in his body. That's what you have to do with your babies. These mothers don't know how to be mothers. And Sister Riziki, again, that is why the Rites of Passage program, I am a huge advocate of Rites of Passage programs for men and women, because during these programs, you learn how to be men. You learn how to be women. You learn how to be mothers and fathers and wives and husbands. That's why these programs were very important to our ancestors and should be very important to us. These mothers simply don't understand their role. They don't. Because if they understand their duty, if they understood that your highest priority is to protect your babies at all costs, you wouldn't permit guys who have a track record of abuse and murder into your home.
Man.
You just wouldn't do it. But let me show another story, sis. Hold on, let me share my screen. It's another story. This is another story. Hold up, before I share it, let me lock it on my screen so if we talk, it'll still be shown to the viewers. It'll still be shown. Okay, so this is on, the brother from Advise TV reported on this story. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with it or not, sis, but I'm going to roll the clip. The clip is about 30 seconds long. Hold on. Here we go.
This is behind this. We're going to roll the clip.
There's a pink bow on pink paper in front of the house where police say the unthinkable happened to 2-year-old Shalia Cujo. Justin Lawson is accused of sexually assaulting her while her mother, Kia, attended classes.
Wait a minute. So this guy is accused, you heard that, Sister Riziki, of sexually assaulting this 2-year-old baby while her mom was taking classes. All right. So her mom left her home with her boyfriend. All right. Just left the 2-year-old home with her boyfriend. Not a relative, not grandma. And I'm not saying things don't happen with relatives either, but not a trustworthy relative.
Right.
The damn boyfriend. Okay. And look at him. Did you see him, sis? Let me go back.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
What he look like, right, sis? Hold on. Let me see. Let me show you. Let's go.
We're going to roll the clip.
There's a pink bow on pink
Jalen, cut that down.
paper in front of the house where police say the unthinkable happened to 2-year-old Shalia Cujo. Justin Lawson is accused of—
Look at him, sis.
Mm-hmm.
Look at him. You left your— now, you know, people say, oh, Dr. Maya, you can't judge a book by its cover. Shit.
When it come to your child, you better judge the damn shelf and the store the book is sitting in. I don't care.
You damn right. So you leave him. Look at him, sis. And you can't tell me he don't smoke. You can't tell me that. Right? Look at him. Look at his lips, sis. Look at him. So
I know.
So she entrusted this guy. Now look at him with her 2-year-old, with the care of her 2-year-old, not grandma, not auntie, not, you know, cousin. This dude she was saying, this guy.
of sexually assaulting her while her mother, Kia, attended classes.
Now this is the aunt. Now watch this, sis. I was furious when I watched this clip. This is the auntie.
Fucking no child like that at all. And all my sister was trying to do was better herself and get on her feet.
Kia says Justin Lawson first contacted her around 8 in the morning that something was wrong.
I got a phone call saying that she—
Now this is the mom. Now you see how the aunt is distraught, Sister Riziki, right? But the mom
is straight chilling.
Yeah, the mom is chilling. You know, the aunt is distraught. She's like, oh my gosh, my sister was just trying to better herself. And you know, but look at the mom. Watch her response. Watch this.
Feeling herself and shaking, and I was trying to come home, but they said she was all right.
Then she got another call from Lawson a few hours later that Shalia was throwing up. That's when Kia headed home to check on.
That she peed.
8 in the morning that something was wrong.
I got a phone call saying that she peed on herself and was shaking, and I was trying to come home, but they said she was all right.
Then she got another call from Lawson a few hours later that Shalia was throwing up. That's when Kia headed home to check on her.
By the time I got here, my baby was on her back, foaming on her mouth.
Fear and panic took over.
First thing I did, I just ran right to my baby, picked her up screaming for someone to please take me to the hospital.
She called 911, waited, prayed, screamed, and hoped for her little girl.
I'm trying to get my baby to breathe. I'm sitting there crying, holding her in my hands. She's not breathing. They trying to bring her back for an hour.
Shalia was pronounced dead at the hospital. According to the medical examiner, she sustained internal injuries and other injuries that indicated sexual assault and as a result, she lost a large amount of blood. Justin Lawson has been charged in her death.
I want to just know, why did he do my baby like that?
Now you hear her, Sister Riziki. She's like, I just want to know why he did, my child like that. I mean, I just, listen, let's just pay attention, sis.
Tia says she's known Lawson since they were kids and they only recently started dating. She can't make sense of the—
Wait a minute, sis. Did you catch that? They recently started dating.
Mm-hmm.
They recently started dating.
But she known them since they was children.
Yeah, she known them since they were children. They reconnected and they recently started dating. Here we go.
Charges or that Shalia is gone.
He loved him. Like, he showed affection to him. I just don't know if he was on drugs or what to just trigger his emotion. I want him dead. I want him to suffer the same way my auntie baby suffered. I want him to suffer. Because you don't do no 2-year-old like that. That's wrong.
Yeah, the aunt more emotional than the mom.
I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, sis, but that's what I see. The aunt, the aunt, wait a minute, let me stop sharing my screen, sis. So the aunt, is distraught. She's like, hold on, sis, let me mute my mic and tell my son to cut this television down.
That is crazy. I'm eating, y'all, so I can't really say too much right now. Hold on.
I had to give him that threat. If I tell you to turn it off again, I'm gonna wear you out. You know how it is. You know how it is with black mamas. You know how we got it.
Absolutely.
I told you once. I tell you, I meant to take my camera off. So I'm pretty sure the audience is probably cracking up, reading my mouth. They go back. But notice this, sis. The auntie was distraught. She said, I want him to do, she's mad. Auntie's like, I want them to do to him what he did to my niece. But the mother seemed to be, disconnected.
Relieved.
That's called it. She's like,
relieved.
Yes.
You gotta take care of nobody no damn more.
Right. Who leaves their child? And I've heard mothers say this. Oh, I left my child home with the boyfriend. Oh, the boyfriend is cool. You know what my father said to me one time, Sister Riziki, when I was a kid. And I'm being transparent with all the brothers and sisters who are watching this video. I'm gonna be really transparent. When I was 6, my mom, she entered into a long-term relationship with a guy. And the guy stayed around for 7 years. But I remember when I was younger, my father used to kirk out, like he would come to the house, sometimes to pick me up. And then my mother and my father would start arguing. And I'm 6 at the time, so I don't know what the hell is going on. You know what I mean? I just know that my dad is coming to pick me up to take me to the movies, but now he's arguing with my mom. Later on, you know what my father told me? He said, Deanna, and people who know me know that's my name. He said, baby girl, he said, I used to be upset because he said, I'm coming to pick you up and this guy opening the door for me. I'm not in the household with you. So he said, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's touching you. I don't know if he's going to touch you. He said it drove him crazy because he said at the end of the day, he is not you are not his daughter. So my father was saying there's no reason what would stop him from sexualizing you?
Absolutely.
What would stop him? He said, because you are not his daughter. So it used to drive my father crazy that there was a guy inside of the home with me, and my father had no control over it. Right?
No, I totally get that, because that's even like with my mom. After my mom and my dad separated, like I can count on one hand like other men she dated. And one of the things she said, she was like, one of the reasons why I never really, pursue a relationship, because I was always scared of, me having a boyfriend and he come in and touch you. Like she told me that. And even with my grandfather, him and my grandma went through hell and high water, but he said one thing: I ain't gonna know that work, because ain't no man coming up in here raising my girl. He got 5 girls. You know what I mean? So there was definitely like a I don't know. I don't know if it's generational, and I think it has something to do with that too. Like, the more we go in generations, like the parenting skills just get more lackadaisical. I don't know, but Yeah, that was a thing back then. Like, no, ain't nobody coming up in here possibly touching my daughter. No, absolutely not.
No, not even. Like, I'm not even, like you said, I'm not even going to give it. I'm not even going to make it a possibility for you to do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not even. And you might be a great guy. You might be a great guy.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it is my job to protect my babies.
Yeah, it is.
So we're gonna have to meet up outside the home. Everybody isn't worthy, Black woman, of meeting your babies. Our babies are our most precious possessions. I'm gonna say that again. Our babies are our most precious possessions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why? Because our babies carry on our legacy. Our children, they carry on the legacy. So we have to properly educate and properly socialize our babies.
Yeah.
And that involves protecting our babies. And I'm telling you, man, you know, and a lot of brothers, I've heard Black women say to me, Sister Riziki, Dr. And I know that some of them may be watching, they say that I'm harder on Black women than I am Black men. I've been accused of that. And I don't know if the sister's in the building or if my cousin is in the building, but they have accused me of being harder on Black women than Black men. And you want to know what I say to that? And I want to address that. I am, Sister Riziki.
Mm-hmm.
I am. And it's not that I don't hold for what they do. I absolutely hold Black men accountable for what they do. But you want to know why I focus on the Black woman and getting the Black woman together? Because she is the foundation, Sister Riziki.
Yeah.
She's the foundation of the family. Mm-hmm. It is her. She is the one. She gives birth. She gives birth to the nation. She's the first teacher. She's the first nurturer. Mm-hmm. So she has to be right, Sister Riziki.
Yeah, absolutely.
How active the father is. I know some brothers in Baltimore. I'm not going to call him out. He's going through a court case right now. He is a legend. He is a legend in Baltimore. And brothers and sisters who are in the chat room probably know who I'm talking about. But he's extremely active in his daughter's life. But guess what? The mother has a very destructive mentality. And who does she pass that destructive mentality down to? The children. So no matter how much daddy was Black powered out, no matter how much daddy was conscious, no matter how much daddy tried to be a positive male influence in their lives, you know what happened? You know what overtook these babies when they became 16 and 17? You know what happened? Now they have a destructive mentality because of the mother. And I'm talking about an active dad, a dad that when they separated, got his children, he had split custody. So 3 to 4 days out of the week, he would have the children. 3 to 4 days out of the week, she would have the children. They had joint custody, split custody. And now he's going for full custody because the daughters are on Snapchat, you know, posting pictures about sucking dick and twerking and all kinds of stuff. And this man is a conscious brother. I know, I bear witness to him. And I told him that if he needs me to come to court with him to be a character witness, I would do it.
Yeah, that's good.
So the point that I'm trying to make to you, Sister Riziki, is that the mother is the mom. And I keep telling these brothers, I said, man, y'all got to stop putting good seeds in rotten soil.
Hello, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Because somebody's making these women mothers. We're not becoming mothers by ourselves, Sister Riziki. So the had to step.
And that's the thing that gets me, because I do hear a lot of men complain about their child's mom, and I was like, let's be real. You saw a lot of these characteristics before you got her pregnant, so now you got to hold yourself accountable too. Like, you know, and you should think more up here and not so much down there, and that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like there's a culture of men, you know, like the dog with the little pink thing hanging out. You know what I mean? And that's what gets you in trouble. That kind of operating in that mentality, that's what gets you in trouble. But, you know, we so hypersexualized, man, and that's what we look at first instead of like other qualities. Like, if this happened, would this be somebody I could successfully co-parent with or be with or whatever? So it's like that reality, man.
Absolutely, Sister Riziki. And, you know, Brother Doug asked a question. Hold up, I want to address that. He said, Question, he said, if a single mother plans to remarry, how can she gain trust in the potential stepfather? Well, first of all, Brother Doug, you know, and I'm just putting myself in a situation that if I, you know, wasn't married and I, you know, the mom has to totally examine this man, meaning I had to court you, I had to date you. Yes, I'm running a background check on you to see if you have any priors. I want to know your family upbringing. I want to meet your family, because this is what I tell my sons, and this goes for women too. If you want to understand the person that you're with, go meet the family. That's all you got to do. Go meet the mom, go meet the dad. If you want to understand who is in front of you, go meet the parents, go meet the family, go meet the grandma, go meet the grandpa, because you know exactly what you're entering into. I want to meet the damn family. So not only am I going to court you to get to know you, I want to meet the family. I want to be around your mom. I want to be around your dad. I want to totally understand your psychology before I even let you into my home.
Exactly.
And understanding your psychology means that I have to meet your family. I need to know about your upbringing. I want to know about your hurts. I want to know about your pains. I want to know about your fears. I want to know about your uptimes, your downtimes. I want to know everything about you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm going to run a background check on you.
Right, right.
I'm going to run a background check on you. Let's get some fellas in here. I open it up to Black women. See how you see, people don't like to talk about this, Sister Riziki. I put it in different groups, said, Black mothers, let's have a conversation about this, about putting our babies in dangerous situations. You're the only person that clicked on the link. I put the link in the chat. I put the link.
And see, that's another thing. A lot of us don't want to admit our shit stink. Like we all focused on what men are doing wrong. And I'm like, hello, they not the only ones in this equation. Like we're, you know, to an extent, we're both jacked up. Yes, but like, there's a lot of women who take this I'm a goddess complex too damn far, as in, you know, you perfect and it can't nothing be wrong with you. And I'm just like, no, this is, even if it's not a man molesting your, you know, child, but there's always something to learn about parenting better, you know. And I think like we get into this ego set to where can't nobody tell me how to do this or do that. And I'm just like, why not learn, you know, just how you can improve? And that's a major issue. We don't want to admit where we fail.
I agree with that. We don't want to admit where we fail. We're not open to constructive criticism. I want to quote this for our brothers who are listening. There's a brother, if you're watching, I feel horrible that I might mispronounce your name, but he is in the chat room. Let me look up this brother. Melchi Zadak Salam. I think it's Melchi Zadak Salam. This brother put a quote on Facebook, and I'll never forget it. He said, heaven is not between the legs of the woman. He said, heaven is between her two ears. And he said, if there's not heaven between her two ears, he said, there'll be hell between her legs.
Hello.
My buddies, they asked me, they said, Dr. Mahat, what did he mean by that? He's talking about her mind.
That's right.
Heaven is not between the legs. Heaven is between the ears, and what's between the ears? I mean, not technically between the ears. I mean, he was.
Yes, the subconscious, the brain, the mind.
But he's talking about her mind, and he said if there's not heaven between her two, he said if there's not heaven here between her ears, meaning that if this woman doesn't have if this woman isn't in her right mind, he said there's going to be hell between her legs. So you have brothers who are planting good seeds in, what did I say? Rotten soil. Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. Let me get some of the brothers, since the sisters are scared to join this conversation. Let me get some brothers in here.
I know we'll be having a lot to say about trifling moms. I didn't. Because it's funny hearing their stories when they dating single moms, and they just be like, man, she trifling as heck. Like, even down to the men who, you know, they'll come into a relationship, but then they'll let the mom will let the children disrespect him. And it's like, okay, if I'm trying to come into your life and, you know, you want me to be this figure in the family, you can't be letting your child disrespect me just because that's not biologically my child. Like, it's just a lot of stuff that's out of order.
I need some men to join us. I just put the link in the chat. Brothers, please click on the link, because it seems like the women don't want to have this conversation. These women, I mean, they're scared, Sister Riziki, to have this type of conversation.
And they get really offended. It's crazy. Like, there was one sister who was saying, you know, about single moms raising boys. And, you know, the women was just getting offended. Well, like, you know, I try my best. And the mom is like, listen, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is, instead of having your son around you all the time, you need to have him around some men. So if this means you need to go find this, that, and the third, you know, whatever. And, you know, understanding that your emotional whatever may not always be a benefit to your son because you're a woman, you know, it's just different dynamics. And instead of moms just listening, you want to get offended as if somebody's trying to tell you how to raise your child. And we're like, no, this is the kind of boys you're producing out in the world when you're not putting them in things to help them know how to be a man, putting them around men, or, you know, so forth and so on. It's just so all this offensive stuff.
And I do agree with you, sister, that when you talk to single mothers about, you know, child rearing, and you say, well, you need to have a man in the house. They still have that mentality that they don't need a man. I mean, it's still that mentality. I can do this by myself. I don't need to subject my son to a male role model. You absolutely do need to subject your son to a male role.
And that's what we call women who have a auric, and excuse my expression, but we be like, her energetic balls are too big right now. Like, a lot of women walk around here with some energetic balls as if you a man and you could really teach a boy how to be a man, like, you know, or at least process things from a man's perspective. Like, you're not that, and it's okay to embrace that. Like, it's okay to say you can't do everything. That's okay.
Absolutely. I think that is absolutely okay to say that I can't do it all. I can't teach Jalen how to be a man. I don't even know, you know what, when it really hit me, and I got to be honest with you, Sister Riziki, up until I was 28, I'm 36 right now, I was one of those women that I don't need a guy. I can do it. When shit hit the fan, when my two older sons started going through puberty, that's when it hit the fan. It was things that they were experiencing that they would talk to me about, and I could not relate. You know, like, I actually had to go to male friends and say, okay, is it normal? Like, I don't want to tell their business, Sister Riziki, they would be upset with me. But they were doing some things, you know what they were doing. And I'm like, and they were doing, Sister Riziki, they were doing it all the goddamn time. And I'm like, you know, sis, is this normal? You know, and one of my male friends, he said, yes, you know, that's what we do. And I said, all the time, you know, and he said, yes. And I remember one time I took one of my sons to King's Dominion. We were on a roller coaster, and he was like, oh my goodness. He said, my balls are tingling. And I looked at him, I said, balls tingle? And I had to call one of my male friends, and he said, yeah, you know, if you get nervous, you know, Sister Riziki, I'm just sharing these experiences.
Yo, that's funny, yo. That's what I'm talking about. That's funny.
I mean, that's to show you that as a woman, you cannot relate to everything that these male children are experiencing. You are not a male, so they have different experiences than you do. Now, we can teach our little boys to be decent human beings. Don't get me wrong. I believe that as single women, we can teach you how to be responsible. Teach you how to be responsible, teach you how to be, you know, empathetic, sympathetic, teach you to be, you know, astute, or to study, or to focus. I mean, there are things, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that we just can't absolutely teach, because I think that with single mothers, when you say, I can't teach my son, you can't teach a little boy how to be a man, they get offended at that phrase. And I agree with that.
You want to be a good person. I mean, anybody could
be a good person, and teach him, you know, responsibility, teach him to be a self-determined person, teach him to be, you know, astute, and to study, and to be, you could teach him all of those things. But I'm talking about when he hits puberty, honey, when he hits puberty, there are simply things you just can't relate to. Like, even how men test each other. You know, women, we test each other, but men do it differently. You know, in their world, it's strength, it's who's the alpha male, it's all of that. Now, we do it, but we do it differently. You know, we do it different. And so,
honey, Lord have mercy. Anyway, go ahead.
We do it, sis, and you know we do it. We want to show who the alpha female is. We do it. I know I've done it. You know what I mean? But men do it totally different. Theirs is more a physical thing. Like I tell Jalen when he's outside, I say, Jalen, you know, when these boys try to rustle you, put them on the head. Put them on the head, man. Because what they're trying to do is size you up to see if they can, you know, if they can bully you, or, you know, they want to size you up, son. So you gotta, if y'all are play fighting, man, you gotta represent, you know. And so stuff like that, you know what I mean? And even just teaching and seeing a man in his role and how he should conduct himself in the household, how he should treat a woman. I mean, you get what I'm saying? You can't be that model for him. And people and children need to see it. We got to understand that as human beings, we're very visual people. Go ahead and Google mirror neurons. We are very visual people, and we learn, we mimic each other. And it's called mirror neurons, which are inside the brain, which permits you to mimic what you see. So with that being said, children are emulating what they see. And as little boys need to see a man in that role. He needs the man in the role of a father. He needs to see a man in the role of a husband, in the role of a friend. But our young boys don't have that male role. They don't see that male in that sort of capacity. You dig what I'm saying? And so anyway, I know we kind of strayed off topic because we were going in on mothers. But as Black women, Sister Riziki, we have to get back to protecting our babies. I'm tired, and I'm telling you, Sister Riziki, I could have pulled out, I mentioned 4 stories today, but I could have pulled out maybe 10 of them. Look at this. Let me show you something else. Let me show you something else. Let me show you something else.
Crazy, man.
Something else, sis. Hold on. Let me show you some other videos. Look at my T-Talk. These are mothers. These are mothers. Okay. All right, hold on. I'm getting ready to share my screen. Getting ready to share my screen again. All right, sis. Now look at this, Sister Riziki, and I'm not playing this to be smart, but the mother, I'm pretty sure the mom is in the room, and I think this is the mother sitting right there. I'm just assuming. Yeah. But her daughter is bending over, twerking. Now, can you imagine if it's some sick, demented, perverse man in the room? I mean, you get what I'm saying now. And you got your daughter popping her butt. Oh man, shaking. That's she is somebody else's body. Oh, funny. Sister Riziki, this isn't funny. You get what I'm saying? Like, this stuff isn't funny. So you say, well, Dr. Ma'at, let's get back on topic. Dear Black mother, stop putting your children in bad situations or dangerous situations. You're teaching your child to twerk and to bend over and shake her butt, right? In the presence of, I thought I did hear a male voice. I don't want to play it again, Sister Riziki. Oh, yeah. I thought I heard a male voice in the back. You don't know if this male, I mean, these dudes, and I'm not talking about our good men. I'm talking about some of these males are very sick and demented and they're perverts. And you have your young daughter in front of these guys twerking, bending over, and smacking her butt. Again, endangering your child. And this little girl looks like she's what? I say no older than 2, Riziki. What do you say?
Yeah, no older than that. I mean, and they don't realize, like, and I know this happens. I know this happens. See, what happens is that they could grow up and they actually start, like, there are little girls who are just really fresh. You know, I've seen it. I used to be one of them. So I know these things, you know, like they were just really fresh. And it would be to the point where they're actually comfortable doing that stuff in front of a grown behind man. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like you're cultivating that kind of energy for certain things to take place, and people don't recognize that. Even when, like, I know for me, it was a big thing. I don't care how old you are. You don't change clothes in front of no man. Like, I don't care if you like 12, 9, 10. If there's a grown man in the room, you don't, or even a boy, you go and change your clothes somewhere else. It's just a lot of these things we're not applying now. But yeah, when I look at stuff like that, that's not funny. Even, when they play that I was at a cousin's wedding, and the cha-cha slide thing came on. And that part, how low can you go? Can you go down low all the way to the floor? And when that part came on, the girl started going down. I said, no, you stand up. You stand up and wait till that part is over. Like, because I just didn't feel right twerking with a little 12-year-old to this song. So
not at all.
Yeah, yeah, and we think little stuff like that is all fun and games, but they don't realize what that behavior transforms to as they get older.
Exactly. But hold on, sis. Let me play another video. I got them for days.
Oh, snap.
I have them for days. Here we go. Another video.
He is not making it rain. No, he's not. Oh my God.
You know what? And I'm trying not to laugh because I ain't gonna lie. The first time I saw it, it was just unbelievable. Like, it was.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I would have laughed too.
I ain't gonna lie. It was just when I saw the video, somebody inboxed me. They said, Dr. Maya, you need to check this one out. So they inboxed me the video, and when I first saw it, I was in so much disbelief. I was so in disbelief, sister. I laughed, but this is not funny.
Yeah.
This is not funny. Like you said, she's doing this now at the age, I give her no older than 5, maybe 6. She's doing this now. Can you imagine what this behavior is going to translate to in the next couple of years? And then again, you're doing this in the presence of people that could potentially hurt her. So you're teaching her these behaviors that will endanger her life, or that could endanger her life. Let me roll the clip. Here we go.
Yes.
And then look at what you're doing. You're teaching this young boy that it's okay to treat her like this. That's what that you should be treating Black girls like this, which is going to translate to you should be treating Black women like this. Here we go.
That's a shame. I can't even do it.
Did you hear the mother just now laugh in the back, like, huh? And I'm just assuming it might be the mother. I don't know. Again, it could be the mom, but it's some adult that's recording this, whether it's the mom,
right.
auntie.
And then uploaded it on social media. Absolutely.
Right. This is what they're destroying our babies. That's what they're doing. And destroying our babies means they're destroying our future, Sister Riziki. I don't know if people understand. I don't know if people grasp that correlation. If you destroy our babies, you are destroying our future. So each time I get a news reporting that this Black child was stabbed to death, this Black child was sexually assaulted and died as a result of her injury, this Black child was murdered, this Black child was gunned down, and then I'm looking at social media videos showing our babies exhibiting, like you said, over-sexualized behavior or hypersexual behavior. You are destroying our future as a race because you're destroying our legacy, and our legacy is to be carried by our babies.
Yeah.
Understand that, sis?
Yeah.
Hold on, sis. I got another one. Hold on. I got another one. And this one went viral. And I know the sis is in the building. Shout out to the sis. I wish she would join us. I think she's, I think the sis is at work. But shout out to the sis. She and I, we talked about this video right here. This woman was actually applauded for this video. Here we go. They applauded this mother for encouraging this. Here we go.
He wears his clothes like that.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
His hands like that because he can.
Watch him walk. Watch him walk. Watch him walk. I love the outfit. So how did you do that outfit, sir?
Oh,
Please tell the camera how you made that.
I put this on here,
Uh-huh.
and then I put the bed around,
Right.
and then I snap this part together.
Okay. And what kind of fabric is that you're using? It looks soft. And it looks like an animal. It looks beautiful. I love the two pieces. I love the high collar. It's very beautiful.
Thank you.
Let me see you walk it out. He wears his fashion like that because he can. Watch him walk.
Oh my God.
Because he can. Oh my. Fashion. His walk. He makes what he wants. He can make anything fashion. Beautiful.
Now, let me get this. Now, a lot of people, and I was going back and forth with the sis. She's in the chat room. She can attest to this. A lot of folks, they applauded this mom, and they were saying, her son is, maybe the son is, was born this way. Maybe the son was, already a very effeminate young guy. And, and this mother said, hey, instead of trying to make him play with, cars and figurines, she just let him be whoever he is. You know what I want to say to all of those people, Sister Riziki? That's bullshit. According to Dr. Patricia Newton, she said that all behaviors are learned. I'm going to repeat that. Dr. Patricia said, I don't even know if she used the word all or if she gave a quantity, but most of the behaviors that we exhibit are learned. And you know what? I don't want to put words in the elder's mouth. I don't know if she said all, and I'll go back to her lecture. I have her lecture right here. Hold on, sis. Let me get it. Hold on, sis. Let me get it.
I do think behavior that's learned is different from what people feel is naturally them. I will say that. I do agree that in childhood, we as parents have a strong influence on what we cultivate. I agree with that.
Absolutely. So I don't know. The elder might not have said all. Maybe she said the majority. Hold on, wait a minute.
Because my thing is, now when we get to that whole sexuality piece, it's just some people who just innately are not attracted to the opposite sex. And I ain't even talk about the people who feel like, who's been abused or raped or molested. They've had well-balanced households, all that other stuff. But to see this, and like I said, I'm not in the household. I don't know if the young boy is already showing effeminate kind of, you know what I'm saying? But if you just doing this for play, I totally disagree with that. And even if he was, showing effeminate characteristics, I don't know. I'm not in that situation. But I can say, and all families, I think all families have this, and I'm not just speaking on mine, but there's always that one person, even when you were a child, where even before I knew what homosexuality was, I ain't gonna lie, there was a family member. I was just like, you know what? When they grow up, I just feel like they're going to be this way because of what they're already showing right now as a young child.
Yeah, I can dig that, and I agree with that. But let me show this real fast, sis. So this is the lecture that I'm talking about, Dr. Patricia Newton, Sexual Politics and the Manipulation of the African Mind. You can get this by contacting Brother Jabari. He's on Facebook, Brother Jabari Nator from Reality Speaks. When I say that this is a phenomenal lecture that the elder gave. See, a lot of people, they know about Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, but they never heard of Dr. Patricia Newton, who came up under Dr. Frances Cress Welsing.
Oh, wow.
came up under her. And this sister, I believe that she resides in either Baltimore or DC, but she's definitely in the DMV area. So again, please get the work of Dr. Patricia Newton. She has a lot of videos on YouTube, addressing, sexual politics and the manipulation of the African mind. Now, in this lecture, I believe that she said the majority, now she's a psychiatrist. I'm not talking about a bootleg psychiatrist or somebody that's calling herself Dr. Patricia Newton and she doesn't have that. This woman is a certified psychiatrist. She's been seeing Black men and women for years, all right? And she actually she pursued psychiatry because Dr. Frances Cress Welsing told her to. She was going to be like a medical doctor in another field, but Dr. Frances Cress Welsing encouraged her to study psychiatry or psychology. And so she is a certified psychiatrist. But she did say, I believe, that the majority of our behaviors are learned. And it broke down mirror neurons in this presentation. All right. So and this is what she said. She said in her presentation, she said, I don't care, what your sexual orientation is or whatever. But she said, don't impose that stuff on children. Right. Don't impose it on children. Meaning don't subject that to children. Let a child grow up and be whatever he or she wants to be without external influence. And I just think that this mom allowing him to dress up, and he kisses his hair's like back because she can't watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So darling, tell me about it. And he's like, well, the fact this boy saw something. You can't tell me that he jumped out of bed one day and did that. I don't know if he's home watching RuPaul, because I know that RuPaul had a drag show on TV. Then you got these different fashion shows on TV, Miss J and all these other people. He saw something. I don't think he just magically woke up and just knew how to. He wear his hands like that. Yeah. He was, Sister Raziki, I'm telling the truth.
He makes his hands up.
You can't watch him walk.
I know. It's fashion. Like
fashion. And she's like, tell me about it, darling. And he's like, well, come on.
Yo, that's not funny, but
I mean, is it this child that's naturally growing up to be these things? Or
no,
I think
that is taking it too far. I feel like it's reinforcing. Let's just say if this boy already was, and let's just say he wasn't exposed to anything on TV up until then, but you just notice like maybe how he speaks or his mannerisms may be a little effeminate. Then you go and do that. You're like literally reinforcing that, and then you're building on top of, well, what other things come along with this kind of behavior? How do other people who act like this, what do they do? What do they, you know what I mean? So now you're exploring into all that. And I could see how, you take something and you can have the opportunity to sway it one way or the other, but you choose to sway it with the fashion show and tell me about it, darling. And
tell me about it, darling. Turn around. And like sister said, there's a sister in the chat room. Let me see the name. I want to make sure I got her name right. Sister Christina's Life. She said, no. Then she said, then she teaching him all the terms. What the hell? Absolutely. Watch him walk.
Right.
Watch him.
Now
and he's walking.
Playground talking about something. Watch him walk. Like what?
He's walking. He's walking right down that path that you're carving out for him. He's walking. Because as parents, we got to understand that that's what we're doing. We put our children on paths. Put our children on paths and we nurture them along the path. So you got to ask yourself as Black mothers, what kind of path are you putting your children on?
Right.
Are you putting them on the path to be an entrepreneur or a great thinker or successful? What kind of path are you carving out for our babies? And how are you nurturing them along this path? Because what I see is that there are a lot of, I ain't gonna say a lot, I don't want to quantify it. A lot of people say, Dr. Maya, I don't want to quantify it, but I do see an element of Black mothers who are putting our babies on the wrong, or I'm not gonna say the wrong or right, on a destructive path. On a destructive path.
Right. Yeah.
I see how I see black mothers. I remember a friend of mine, she has some kids, and I had found out I needed one of the children's phones. And I grabbed the phone and I was Googling something. And at the time he was 12. And so I'm Googling something and I typed in PO. And so porn, you know how Google will finish it. Porn popped up.
Right. Yeah.
So I go to her, I'm like, yo, your son is watching, porn. Maybe you should go to call Verizon or call your wireless carrier and see if you could put maybe some sort of block on the phone because he's young, and then the guy had siblings. So I said, little boy had siblings. I said, maybe you need to put some sort of, block on, on the phone and on the internet so they won't be able to access, these videos. Ask me this, you do it, sis.
I'm sorry. Say that again. You broke up.
I was saying that I had a friend of mine and I caught her child looking at porn and I reported it to her. I told her, I said, look, I was holding your son's phone and I went to Google something and when I typed in PO, porn came up.
Yeah.
It just sentence porn came up. So obviously he's Googled this before because it immediately popped up.
Right.
The search engine. So I told the sister, I said, look, you need to put some sort of block, call the wireless carrier and get some sort of block on the phone so that he won't be able to access these videos, and also, get maybe, I think they have something called internet nanny that you can get on computers so that your kids won't be able to access certain, adult material.
Right.
She never did it, sis.
See, this is, okay, so this is what I'm gonna say to this. I think also a fault of the parents is that in our minds, we have a certain age that we think all children should start to worry about sex. What I'm saying is that as much as we hate to hear it, that's one of the wrongest kind of mindsets that you can have. If there's the moment a child starts researching porn is the moment that they're ready to learn about sex, because that's why they are researching it. They're curious. They want to know, they like how it makes them feel, whatever tingling stuff that they got on a body. So I do agree that yes, she should have blocked it, because when you are introducing a child into sex education and the first influence that they have is porn, that's how they're going to relate their future sexual experiences. That's the kind of women they're going to look for. That's the kind of man that they feel like that they should be. So I do agree, yes, she should have blocked that, but to also taking it a step further and actually start the conversation of, okay, I understand maybe when you wake up in the morning, your penis is hard, or, you may have a wet dream, or, this is what a vagina looks like. And during, all that stuff. Like, I think that, we don't give children the amount of credit that they deserve. Children are the closest thing to God. Point blank, period. Before we in the world starts introducing them to all the corruption, what I'm saying? They're the closest thing to God. So when they do stuff like, I think we start to think it's from a bad space, but it's from a pure space, just straight up curiosity. So yeah, block them, but also just stop being so dang unrealistic. Like, they don't want to know about this stuff, and talk to them and be honest and stop lying.
I agree with that, but sis, I agree with that, but we need to control that. Your 11-year-old, your 12-year-old should not be having access to porn.
I know, and that's why I said I agree. She should block it. But here's what happened. Now follow me though, because just like, for instance, say if it was you who was like, okay, I'm trying to see the porn, or even when we was little and the late night channels would come on and we would try to look.
Showtime.
Showtime. Bam.
Showtime. At midnight. At Showtime at midnight.
So here's the point though. I agree, block it off. But when you block it off and don't talk to me about it, I'm going to go somewhere else to look it up.
Absolutely. But what I'm saying to you is this, sis, when you don't block it, you know what could happen next, sis?
Oh yeah, no, she should have blocked it.
Now you wonder why your son went to school and touched a little girl. Or you wonder why. I'm just saying things could happen.
No, this is true.
You want to touch a little girl in school, right? And you wonder where did it come from?
He's trying to act like a porn star. He's trying to act like. I agree, 1000%. She should have blocked it, absolutely. And see too, what happens is sometimes moms, they become a little bit more lenient with boys, as if, oh, he can watch porn, it's okay. And I'm like, you don't know how many women you about to assist him in dragging through the dirt because now he has such an unhealthy outlook on sex. You know, and this is, I wanted to show this too, sis. Now, when I saw this video, like even looking at this woman, I'm about to share my screen. Looking at this woman, I'm like, dang, okay, like even down to her voice, you could tell like she could be a really strong matriarch. But it's this old lady who like she be rapping. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
No, brother, with a shortage. If you're small.
Hold up. And then when and I'm just like, okay, these is what these young girls is like. They looking up to you, and this is the stuff you rapping about. Like, just hold on, let me. Oh, wait.
Okay, listen. Go.
So, hold up. Let me stop sharing this real quick. All right, so when I first saw this video, I ain't gonna lie, I laughed because I know, I was like, you know what, grandma, she kind of got some flow. But then I really started thinking about it like, dang, like, so pretty much you're teaching women to equate the worth of a man, not only on, you know, his regional, his area, but like, you know, the money, the, you know, all that other stuff. And I was just like, yo, I can't believe you're this up in age. And see, maybe it's my fault. Maybe we have like these stereotypical views on how older people should act. I don't know, but that blew my mind, sis. I was just like, I don't know what young girls is listening to her. Like, who is she coaching? Like, who did she raise?
Exactly.
Like that.
That's scary. I'm wondering, you know, because at the end of the day,
wait, and it was funny when I came on you were like, yo,
I was just like, I was done. I was absolutely, I was done. I'm like, who
does that?
Who does she mold and fashion? Because that's what we do with our kids. You know, we mold and fashion them from the womb. You know, while they're inside of our womb, we're molding and fashioning them with the foods that we feed them. So as you know, in our during the natal period, we are responsible for their genetic, physical, and mental development. So even when they're growing inside of our bodies and we're feeding them vitamins and, you know, and nourishment, so we're molding and fashioning them inside the womb. Then we give birth to the babies. They come outside of the womb, and we're still molding and fashioning our babies with the things that we say to them, with the things that we show them, with the places that we take them, with the schools that we enroll them in, you know, with the people that we subject them to. You know, all of that plays a part in molding and fashioning and shaping our babies. So in my mind, while I'm watching this video, clearly this is an older woman, right? Clearly this is an older, right? Somebody's grandma. Yeah. That's what I say in Baltimore.
Right.
I say it's granny. That's old grandma.
Granny.
That's old little grandma. So
girl,
I'm wondering, what type of children did she produce?
That's right.
What type of adults did she mold and fashion? What is their mentality? She on grandma in the video talking about a man having a short dick.
Talking about some make my leg like it's jacked up. I was like, and this is the second video I saw her, and I'm like, she I don't know if she used to be a madam or something, but girl, I mean, like, and she went like young girl, like teenage girls, the older girls around. This is the second time I seen her circulate with one of her rap songs talking about the same kind of thing, and I'm just like, you know, it's one thing to see like a Nicki Minaj or somebody young, you know, rapping like that. But, you know, you got this, and excuse my expression, but old ass woman. I don't want to call her old, but you know what I'm saying. And I'm just like, you know, come on, man. Like, and I bet you single. And if not, then your man ain't got no backbone. Can't be.
So sis, let me summarize this before we close up. Let me go ahead, and I want to share my screen with the family. Let me see. Share. We hide this. All right. So today we talked about, you know, as Black mothers, stop putting your children in danger. All right. So that was the title of the show. And I presented 4 cases clearly showing Black women putting their children in danger. The first case that I was presented involved a brother by the name of Perry Johnson. I don't even want to call him a brother, because when you murder one of our babies, you're no brother to me. But there's, you know, a dude by the name of Perry Johnson. He is legally blind. Look at his eyes, sis. Look at this. Look at him, sis. Look at him. Now I'm like, who the hell laid down and had a baby with him? Look at him.
That's not right now. Come on, but I feel you.
No, sis, no, I'm sorry. Look at him. Look at the tattoos on the neck. Look at the tattoos on his face. I'm not just poking fun. I'm not poking fun at this brother's disability. And
yeah.
What I'm saying is,
I know.
look at him.
Yeah.
Look at him. He is clearly a broken male. Okay.
Yeah.
What I'm noticing, and I was having a conversation with one of my cousins this morning. I said, you got broken people, and see, that's why healing is so important. You got a broken man coming together with a broken woman, procreating, and then you're producing broken individuals. He's a broken guy. Clearly, any man that feels like he needs to tattoo his face, he's broken. Something is going on with him.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't care what anybody say. I don't care. Lil Wayne, I don't care what example you give me. A person who thinks that they need to tattoo and mark up their face with crosses and gang signs, something is going wrong. Something is going on with that person psychologically.
Yeah,
so anyway,
I agree.
This was the first case that I presented. Okay, this man, and this happened right here in Baltimore City. Guy by the name of Perry Johnson. He was abusing his 5-month-old son. All right, he was abusing him, sis. He was beating this little boy with his cane because he's legally blind in one eye and can hardly, he's legally blind in one eye. He was in the house beating this 5-month-old son. Okay, now the grandmother. Now he has a few babies with the girl. Her name is. Let me go down here. Her name is Angelique Petty. Angelique Petty. So they have a few children together. The grandmother of the children has custody of like 2 or 3 of them because Child Protective Services, were called or whatever, and she got custody of the babies. But they Child Protective Services did leave this 5-month-old son with Perry Johnson and Angelique Perry. I think that's her name, Angelique. Yeah, Angelique Petty. I'm sorry, Angelique Petty. So he was in there abusing this little boy, Sister Riziki, which resulted in the death of a 5-month-old son. Now, when they first arrested Perry Johnson, they did not arrest Angelique Petty, but they further investigated the situation, which did lead to the arrest of Angelique Petty because they found out that she knowingly endangered the infant. She knowingly. Wow. So they said she knew that he was in there abusing this baby. Black woman, we had to get better with protecting our children. The next incident that I presented earlier, Sister Riziki, when you weren't on the line, it was an incident that happened, I believe it was in Chicago. It involved a guy, the guy by the name of John, I think it's his name, John Singleton. Let me make sure. Yes, John Singleton, 31-year-old guy who stabbed his 12-year-old. Did someone get on? Okay, sorry. Is someone on here with us, Sister Riziki, or is that the laptop?
No, someone's on. Peace, sis. This is Alfadale. I can't read the last name.
Oh, she's
Empress Alfadale King.
Say that again, sis.
Last name is King.
King. Oh, okay. It has an E right here. I don't know. Okay, well,
I know it.
Welcome, sis. I saw her in the chat room, and sis, I'm so happy that you clicked on a link to join the discussion. But we're just talking about, the title is Dear Black Mothers, Stop Putting, your children in danger. Now, of course, Sister King, I'm not talking about all Black mothers. I'm talking about the element of Black mothers who do not participate. I mean, who protect their children. And I was, I presented about 4 cases. I could have presented 20 of them, but I presented 4 cases. And in the first case, you had, I just exited out of it. What was the first case, Sister Riziki, that I was just talking to you about? The first case was, what was it, Sister Riziki? Oh, it happened in Baltimore where
the first case,
the 5-month-old boy was beat to death by his dad, and the mom knew that this abuse was going on. The second case that I presented involved a 12-year-old girl who was stabbed and beat by her stepfather. Now, what's interesting in this case, Sister King, is that the mother allowed this man to come into the home after he already served 3 years for strangling her. So here's a man who served 3 years in prison for strangling you, and you bring him in the household with your daughter. And then when they had an argument over the phone about him leaving, because there's a clause in her lease that states that no convicted felons can stay on the property or stay in the stay in the apartment, he gets upset. He stabs the girl. He stabs her to death, beats her to death, stabs and beat her. And then they have a recording of the girl yelling, "Daddy, don't, daddy, don't, daddy, stop." Now, who do I blame in these incidents? Both of these incidents, I blame the Black mother. So that was the second case. Then we have the third case, which happened in Dearborn Heights. I believe this is in Detroit. And this case involved a husband who murdered 4 children. He was upset with his wife. He thought his wife was cheating on him. The 2 youngest, now they had 4 children. The 2 youngest children were by him. The 2 oldest children were by somebody else. Now, the 2 youngest children, he puts them in a car. He maneuvers the tailpipe, and he kills them with carbon monoxide, and then takes them out the car and put them in the bed. All right. Then he shot the 2 oldest children, who were 17 and 19. He shot them execution style in front of the mom. So you might say, well, Dr. Ma'at, the mother didn't have any control over that situation. He snapped. The mother absolutely had control over that situation, Sister King, because this man had a prior history for killing his pregnant wife. All right. He went to prison for 15 years. All right. For killing his pregnant wife. Served his 15 years, came home 2 years later, marries this woman. So I'm pretty sure they've been married for about 6 or 7 years. I'm pretty sure she knew that this man was convicted for killing his wife or his pregnant wife. But guess what? She still married him and had 2 babies by him and subjected all of her children to this psycho. So that was the third case. The last case that I presented was a case that involved a 2-year-old girl who died after being brutally raped by the mom's boyfriend. The mom knew this guy from childhood. They grew up. I guess they rekindled whatever. They met up later on. Just in the story, it said that they recently started dating again. And so she left this 2-year-old child in the house with this guy. And let me show a picture of this guy. Let's look at him. Let me put it on him. This is the guy. Okay. So she left him in, they recently started dating, and she left her daughter in the house with him. And he sexually assaulted the girl so bad that she died. He didn't murder her. He didn't strangle her. He didn't shoot her. He sexually assaulted her to the point where she died. The mother said when she came home, the daughter was laying on her back, foaming at the mouth. Do you hear what I'm saying to you, my sisters?
Yes.
You hear what I'm saying? So they recently started dating. So you don't even know this dude. Y'all played together when you were children. You grew up. He went his way. You went his way. You guys reconnect. And you recently started dating him and somehow feel comfortable leaving him in the house with your 2-year-old daughter. You know who I blame in each of these instances or incidents? I blame the mother. They should have known better. Sister King, please give us your input, sis, because you clicked on the link. You clicked on the link, sis. I just want to hear your feedback, sis.
I want to say thank you for allowing me to come in. Secondly, I want to say that I just show on a regular basis. Every Wednesday, I try to catch you, and I do try to invite my daughter in because I only have the one daughter. The reason I started watching you all, if you can see, I'm clearly an older woman. I'm well in my 50s. So I have some mileage on my life. But what I want to say is things that we as a people don't know. We don't realize many people who are not as astute as you sisters are on here. each and every one of you. The other two sisters are not here. And then I found out about you all from Dr. Avia Coleman. Very young sister. I look up to you all. Now you might say, well, geez, you're older than we, and you're looking up to us. Yes. You know why? Because you all have taken the time to educate yourself in the ways of our people, of the melanated people and Black people culturally. Other side of that is this. For years, I was raised as a person growing up. I never knew nothing about being Black and proud. All I knew is let's try to survive. My mother and them came up that same way. We wasn't exposed to any of this. But the amount of abuse that goes on in those type of situations, because people don't know who they are. So when you're looking at these situations with these mothers and these children, these mothers and children don't know who they are as a people. So who they are as a people. So they don't have that cultural foundation. They don't have that what is needed. I didn't have it, but across the information. Maybe about 10 years ago, I come up out of Christianity because I did everything through Christianity. So that was my first step. And then I started becoming aware of all this other information about African spirituality and being proud because I'm Black and I wasn't my history didn't start with slavery and all of this. So thing where, oh my gosh, I gotta catch up. I'm trying to catch up. Okay. So I mean, I'm almost gorging myself on a daily basis of learning more about us as a people, our history. You all come on and you honor the ancestors. And when y'all say their name, I'll be like, oh, I wonder how to spell that. And then all on the internet trying to find out this information. I order books. If y'all recommend a book, I'll be like, oh yeah, oh Amazon. Oh shoot, they ain't got it. Let me see if I can find it. You know, and y'all are putting out great information. Side of me wish that I could somehow get every Black woman to try to listen. I'm talking about we older. I'm 56. I'm just finding this information. Y'all in y'all 30s. I heard you say you 36 years old. I said, oh Lord, if I'd have known this 20 years ago, wheels. I'm hell on wheels now, but I'm gonna be worse hell on wheels if I knew all of this. So what I'm trying to say is these women, okay, know how to be mothers because they didn't have examples before them. You got to remember with that drug craze come in, first off, you know, they've done everything to destroy the Black family that they possibly can. This was strategically designed. So we don't have but scraps left out here. And so we who are mothers, and then Sister Ezekiel, you're so wonderful. You may not have children, but you got a mother's heart.
That's right. Thank you.
So that thing is already inside of you. So when you see little girls, you keep doing what you're doing. You, hey baby, don't drop down like that. Don't worry about what their mama gonna say. No, And guess what? Yeah, you know, we came through that era of time where these mothers was out there in the streets. See, when I went home, in school. By the time I got home, I got beat by everybody. Grandma, auntie, all of them. Miss Mary down the street, everybody. What the heck is you doing in school doing that? And then get beat double time from mama because you didn't have my mama, Aunt Mary, all them beating you in the street. And you out there in the street shaming me, this, that, and the third. There is no honor. There is no foundation. There is none of that left because remember, these mothers all was out there getting high and these crack babies are now what's grown up.
Yeah.
The crack babies now have grown up. Grown people now, 30s and 35, because my daughter is 35. My son is 38. Grown people now in their 30s and 40s where there wasn't a parent in the house or the parent was in the house but always high. It's about getting high. And see, these crack children grew up.
That's right.
And grandmothers raised these 30 and 40-year-old children, and now they're out here and they don't know how to survive, really. They have just grown up.
That's right.
So they are subjecting these children. So we have to go past and go back a few generations to start seeing, okay, what was back there?
That right.
Report that they came from a family that wasn't a family. They came out of situations where the daddies wasn't there and they mama had a boyfriend who was touching them. They're not talking about, Uncle Jojo who used to come by, but Uncle Jojo really wasn't related, and that's who was left watching the children. These girls is trying like, okay, my heart goes out to each and every one of the mothers in this case. The 5.5-month-old baby, that really disturbed me there. That female, because we as women are not females, animals are females, and so I have to go there. She allowed this man to beat her 5.5-month-old child. Do anything about it. She was wrong for that. But the case about Miss Green, the mother who had to watch her 2 eldest children be killed before her, I followed that case going up there to Dearborn Heights. I actually couldn't get a good signal because I drive tractor trailers, and right now I'm in for something, but I'm always all over the country.
So sis, let me ask you a question. Dearborn is in Detroit, is that correct?
It's out up there near Detroit, Michigan.
Okay. All right. Okay.
They've already sentenced the fellow. They've already sentenced the husband. He won't be even available for parole until he's 97 years old. Woman filed for divorce from him for 3 times, 2013, 14, and 15. Divorce was finally finalized in December past. So this happened last year with that case. You know, an abusive situation, and he's your husband, and you're trying to run. Because when I was a young woman, I was married to my ex, and before my children were 2 years old, my daughter, the youngest one, was 2 years old. We had already split, but my parents, my mother and my grandmother taught me into going back to this man. You see, so he's good to you. You must be doing something. You know, like I don't know what's going on in the house. I'm not saying that I'm not doing that to this man, but doing. So when things started getting real harsh and everything, and I said, Grandma, I can't honor you this no more. He's gonna kill me.
That's right.
He gonna kill these children if I don't get up out of here. And she's at that point putting it together. But I had watched my grandmother when I was a child growing up. My grandfather used to have us run through the woods because he would come home and he would be drunk and he would go crazy and he would be having those shell shot memories, and he'd be hollering about Charlie Kahn, and we would live in the country and we would have to break and run. So if I'd have kept doing what she told me to do, something tragic could have happened to me and my children. You understand where I'm at now?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so sometimes you think you doing right, because I thought I was doing right because I went back to my husband because my grandmother said so. To this day, my son has a mental issue because of that ex-husband. He's on medication and everything. He has all kinds of post-traumatic stress syndrome, this, that, and the third. This is from my heart, and I'm being transparent as you can see. But my son can call right now and come on panel, and he'll tell you the medication. They give him a shot every month because of the tragic things that he experienced with his stepfather, which was my ex-husband. Same thing my grandmother told me to go back to. So I don't know if Miss Green, Faith Green, of the 4 children, because you watched the court case up in court, and she talked about that whole thing. And that man, you trying to do right because you married to him. You're trying to do right, You don't find out everything about a person. See, I didn't know my ex-husband was like he was until, you know, my mother said it must have been something I said. And if people keep saying that it must be something you doing, you might start undermining. Because why? You're not sure and you don't know. And you trying to make it. You see what I'm saying? And you don't want your marriage to go down the drain, but it does. I had to go ahead and leave and everything because why? You gonna kill me, these children, everything, and all the things in the news. I can't do this no more. My grandmother passed away. I moved. I left my husband. Prior to my grandmother dying though, but she died. I left. Okay. I'm not defending the gentleman. I'm not defending the mother.
I understand what you're saying. It's
totally.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the mentality, and it's kind of like you said, if you don't know to do better, you know, you don't know your options. Like it's different. A sister who's like really aware of herself, she knows she has options. And your situation, and you're not the only one. I have met plenty women whose grandmother, whatever, man, if he take care of the bills, you can handle getting beat up every now and then. You know, like
them children ain't starving, they not dirty, y'all look good, this and that, the third. But you know, look, in my house, when he came home, everybody better look good.
Yeah.
Who can live under that type of thing unless you lose your mind? There's no way I could keep that up.
Right.
Just here, you didn't clean up today? Yeah, I cleaned. You didn't clean up over here, so you must have didn't clean up over there either. And I was like, this man ain't my father. Why is he acting like this? You know, a little dust ain't gonna kill nobody. I get it the next time. But you get beat up for that kind of thing. So if it wasn't for me being determined there and leave that, then yes, you would have had this same story to tell about me. Some of those situations is different. So there's the inner core part never gets to the news. And so, yes, we as women, we do have to be careful about the men that we subject our children to.
Absolutely.
As a result, he has a lot of issues because of that, and he's almost 40.
Wow.
He was young. Yes, it was my fault, but I've had to live with that.
Right.
Because I was the one who brought that man into his life.
Yeah.
No, he was.
Oh, she's speaking to my soul right now. Sister.
I know. I'm trying to think about other stuff so I don't cry. Like, Lord,
she's speaking to my soul, and I just appreciate.
Look, y'all keep doing what you're doing. Y'all keep talking to the women. Y'all keep talking. You meet them in the street and everything. They have little children with them. You try to connect with them and say, hey, we got this program over here where we are doing the rites of passage. There's grown women that need rites of passage. I used to try to
she breaking up.
Yeah, Sister King. Sister King. Oh man, Sister King, we can't hear you. Sister King.
Man, that was.
Yeah, she's deep. Sister King, we can't hear you. We can see you, but we can't hear you, sis.
But until she get it. Okay.
There she is, Sister King. Oh man, I think she's probably going through a dead zone because she's driving. Remember, she said she's a truck driver.
Yeah.
So Sister King, can you hear us? Shake your head if you can hear us. Can you hear us?
Okay, but we can't hear you.
We can't hear you, sis.
Okay.
Sister King, can you hear us?
Yeah, she can. We just can't hear her.
Oh, we can't hear her. Sis, did you accidentally mute your mic? Well, we didn't mute your mic. No, her mic isn't muted. Sis, how about this? Drop out and then come back in. Okay. Yeah, I think it's that she probably went through a dead spot. But that just is powerful. And I just appreciate her testimony. I appreciate her testimony. I appreciate her honesty and her transparency. And
accountability.
Accountability, yes, because she said my son is, my son has been, mentally affected by, the decision that I made. So I subjected my son to this guy, and to this day, she said I have to live with the fact that he has to take a shot to deal with. Oh, there it is. There it is. Mr. King, I can hear your mic.
Okay.
Sis.
Yes.
Sister King.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
I don't know.
Finish your thoughts, sis, because we always talk. I want to hear somebody else talk. Go ahead, sis. Finish your thoughts. Oh, sis is gone out again, Sister King.
Conspiracy. No, I'm just playing.
We can't hear you again. It was like you fixed it and then you made one adjustment and your mic went out again.
Oh, wow.
Okay, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Hey, keep it like that. Don't move.
Okay.
There we go. Keep it. Don't move. Keep it just like that. Just like that. Now go ahead, finish your thought and don't move the phone. Oh, man. I don't know. Goodness. Sister King? Oh, man. Now we can't hear again.
I don't know what happened.
Oh, man. Because she was on fire, man. She needed to be
in the cores of my soul.
Yes, man. Like, I love it. I love, and we need to have this open dialogue. And I love the fact that, that she didn't mind conversing with us. Like, she's like, I know you're in your 30s, I'm 56, and she didn't mind, convert. And then see, we need to have this talk as mothers, young mothers, older mothers, and elderly mothers. Like, we have to have this open dialogue, the do's and the don'ts of mothering, and have to understand where the disconnect happens. So she brought up the crack era, and she's right. Everyone who was born in the 80s, we're all grown now and probably have children. You get what I'm saying? So we are the product of the crack era. We absolutely are. Just like you have this generation now who are popping pills and they're having babies. So this is the pill popping generation that's going to be coming up about 20 years from now. We'll be looking at the pill popping generation. And then my father and my mother and them, they're the baby boomers and the Vietnam generation. And see, Vietnam destroyed my family. Vietnam destroyed my father, who was a broken man and entered into a relationship with my mother. He abused and did all sorts of things to her. And so in turn, that marriage split and they had 2 kids, right? And that was me and my brother. So Vietnam destroyed that marriage. And not just Vietnam, he didn't single-handedly destroy the marriage. My mom came into the marriage with her issues also. So you had 2 broken people coming together saying, I'm going to get married and have children. And in turn, the marriage didn't work. Of course, the marriage didn't work. You get what I'm saying? Because neither one of the parties, both parties didn't heal from the atrocities or the what am I saying, sister? Both parties didn't heal.
The tragedy,
Thank you, from the trauma, from the dysfunction. So they carried that trauma and dysfunction into a marriage that didn't work. Of course, it didn't work. All right. And as a result, you had the children who suffered from being raised in single parent households. I don't care what anybody says. I don't advocate single parent households. I don't. Now, if it's a situation like there's some abuse going on and you can't take it and the children are in adverse situations and so are you, get out. But what I'm saying is we need to start really vetting our mates before we procreate. We have to vet our mates. Hold on one sec, sis. I see.
Oh, okay, I don't know what's going on. But okay, Sister King, did you want to finish your thoughts?
No, I'm good. But I just admonish you women to keep, you ladies, to continue doing the work that you do, because, and then there's so many other sisters that are and making others aware, because people are just not aware. They're totally oblivious. When we see ministry and they today I don't have it, but normally I have on some kind of ethnic, I wrap my hair, and they're like, "Are you Muslim?" I said, "No, I'm not a Muslim, but I am a sister." And so we must be able to. I'm in this tribe, so we all have to be able to reach out to one another.
Yeah.
Because the governmental system has broken down the foundation of what we normally would have as people of color. That is systematically done.
Yeah.
I call it the matrix, and many other people do too. So, aware of yourself. How could you be aware of your child, your neighbors, your community, your governmental system?
Exactly. Very true.
I feel like you only surviving because some people, they don't even know that they're living.
Yeah.
That. I can tell you that I lived all these years and did not realize that I was in a little bitty box, so teeny and so small, with just the little things, because all caught up into what they're in.
Yeah.
Drugs, church. They only go so far because they are not made aware. Church don't talk about but one thing: Bible. Well, you got a whole life outside of your Bible.
Hello. Right. And it doesn't give you like real practical approaches to solve the problems. And that's the issue. And another reason why women are so damaged, like we will go through abuse but we just got to deal with it for the sake of everybody else but ourselves. And I think that's one of the biggest
problems
or injustices to women. Like, you know, and why a lot of women, you know, are not wanting to be, you know, in relationships or marriages and honored, because you feel like once you enter into something, you have to sacrifice yourself. And it's like, who taught us that? Who taught us when you enter a union with somebody, there's parts of yourself you have to sacrifice? Who taught you that and why? Like, there should be no sacrifice. There should be more abundance. Entering a marriage doesn't mean you got to sacrifice your mental and emotional well-being just for the sake of having a roof over your head. Who taught us that? Where did that come from? That's so dysfunctional.
Well, you know, people come out of the spirit of lack. And when you don't have and you don't see and you don't know, you cling to anything that's different and new for you. And so, I mean, I want to refer to the young woman that had the 2-year-old and the sexual assault. And I looked at the aunt, and I agree the aunt was more distraught, appeared to be more distraught than the mother. But I want to say this. When that mother, because she came on, she said, my sister was out trying to better herself. And this thing happened to her. Well, okay, fine, well and good. But where were you when your sister needed a babysitter for her child?
Absolutely. Yeah, sis, I thought about the same thing. I said the same thing when she.
You're distraught. And I understand that clearly, but where were you when your sister needed a babysitter? There was no other family member available to her, because she left her child with this guy that y'all all knew in the neighborhood. All of y'all knew him. He grew up around y'all. Y'all knew who he was. Why didn't you take your wonderful little niece with you? She was taken care of. The baby's 2 years old, so we as a tribe have to be there, because we can't just blame one. That baby had an auntie, she had mama, she's supposed to have had somebody that she could go to, but no mother, the auntie, you know, not helping her sister while her sister going, okay, so maybe everybody was going to work. So you say stay home with the child, and so that the child won't come to harm, but it's a catch-22 with that, because I'm gonna tell you this: she is out trying to better herself. You can see already that she did not know. She is not a student of life. That girl don't have a clue what's going on. She look like that. She don't even know how to feel about her own child.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
That's what she looked like to me. I said, oh my gosh, she don't even know what's going on. She's like, well, you know, I'm like, excuse me? So she don't have a clue of life itself. But we got to grab even them, not just the little children and stuff like that. We need to grab hold to somebody exactly and take them and say, look here, honey, have opportunity to come so you can learn something so you can teach your child. You got these children now. You need to teach them now. So let's get with this. Come on. You see? But a lot of them don't want to learn and they're not going to learn. When I lived in Jersey, I used to have them all with me, trying to take people and teach people and show grown folk, and then, you know, exhausted myself and ran myself crazy for other people.
And see, sis, I wanted to add to something you said. You said that the auntie, and I thought about that. I share your same sentiment. And I'm driving now, sisters. That's why I had to open up another icon, because my cousin, I had to go pick her up, and I was just like, man, this conversation is too juicy to end right now. So I said, let me download this Google Hangout on my phone so that we could continue having this conversation. But one thing, I agree wholeheartedly with you, and I noticed that also that the auntie was so distraught. But like you said, sis, you know, where were you when this child needed a sitter? You know, and Sister Riziki pointed this out. The individualistic mentality that we have as a people. Dr. Amos Wilson, in several of his lectures, described how we are inculcated with the ideology of individualism. Everybody is about self. So even though we have a family that we are a part of, or we have a community that we are a part of, we have a race or a nation, whatever you want to call it, ethnic group that we are a part of, we still have an individualistic mentality, because our society teaches us, our society has taught us that we are individuals. And as Dr. Amos Wilson said, he said that is a social myth. He said there is no such thing as being as an individual. You want to know why? Because we all belong to a social order. We belong to a family. We belong to a community. We belong to an ethnic group. So as long as you belong to a particular group of people, then that means that you're not by yourself. The only way to be a true individual is to live on the goddamn moon in the outer space. And that's how you can be a true individual. Other than that, we belong to a social order, meaning a family, meaning a community, meaning a government, a society. So therefore, there's no such thing as being an individual. And so society has taught us that we are individuals.
Yeah. It's dysfunctional.
Society will teach and teaches individualism, and we have to understand as African people that this is a foreign mentality. Can you hear me, sis?
Yes.
Yeah, we have to understand that this is a foreign mentality, and this is a mentality that is destroying our ethnic group.
Yeah.
Ethnic group. I had a talk with one of my close female friends the other day, and I said, how psychotic is it not to understand, or how ignorant is it not to understand that every decision you make with your life affects someone else, either indirectly or directly? I'm gonna say that again. Every decision, Sister Riziki, that we make in our life, because people kill me with it's my life, I do what I want. It's my life. I hear that all the time. It's my life. It's my life. I can do what I want to do. It's my life. I'm not hurting anybody but me. All of us. The decisions that you make in your life, that means who you date, how you rear your child, the successes and failures that you have in your life, it affects somebody or somebody's.
Yeah.
Indirectly or indirectly. That's facts. So your life is not your life. Your life belongs to the community. Your life belongs to the nation. That's who your life belongs to. So we got to get that. I'm done with that whole philosophy. We gotta extricate ourselves from the ideology of individualism. There's no such thing as an individual. There's no such thing as an individual. So we definitely have to extricate ourselves from that sort of mentality and that sort of culture. And get back to can you hear me? Can you hear me? Sister Riziki, can you hear me? I guess your mic is muted. I might unmute your mic, Sister Riziki.
Yeah, I'm trying to get on my phone, but yeah, I can hear you.
Sister Riziki. Yes, so what I was saying is that we need to extricate ourselves from this sort of culture of individualism and return back to the village mentality. What's the village mentality? Like the Sister King said, I don't know if she's still on here, but like Sister King said, when we're looking out for each other, you get what I'm saying? When we're mothering other mothers, fathering other fathers, looking out for other children. You get what I'm saying? Village mentality. Understanding that it does take a communal mentality. We had to return back to that, and that's what the Africans had. That was the African culture. That was the African way of life. They had a communal mentality. And until we get back to the mentality, communities will continue until we adopt a communal mentality. I feel like I'm on here by myself now, Sister Riziki. Where are you?
No, I'm here. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah. So I'm on my phone now.
Oh yeah, no,
so
me too. But no, I
Okay,
totally agree. And you know, it's so much. I had this other clip, but I'm not going to show because I know we press for time. But you know,
no, please show the clip, sis.
It's so
please show the clip.
Okay, because so this is me playing. Okay, let me go back to, because this is important. We got to talk about too. We got to factor in mental illness. Okay, now this particular story. Oh, all right, I'm back. So this particular story, it's a mother who actually killed her two oldest children because they were molesting their younger sibling. Are you aware of this story? Go ahead, sis. What? I can't hear you. Okay. But in the meantime, I'm going to share my screen anyway. 1 second. Okay. So the reason why I wanted to share this is because I also feel like a part of motherhood, people should understand what to do when they're facing certain situations as a parent. Again, here's why community is important. Like, if you don't know what to do, I mean, you just do some shit that, you know, you may regret later. But listen to this woman. This clip is 25 minutes long, but I'm going to only play like a short snippet. 1 second.
Yes. Now, Stoney, I did start her. I did. 9 more months she was on her big ass. She was 13. My son told me how she used to sit on his face, and she said, Mom, it stinks real. And she was, you know what I'm saying? Yes, I did. And then oatmeal is all that girl got. Lucky she got that once a day. She only got oatmeal? Oatmeal once a day. She's very lucky she got that. And I even have to hide the fact that I was giving her oatmeal because he didn't want me to feed her, and he had every right to feel that way. No, I'm good. You're okay?
So let me go forward.
Taking it to the no.
Second.
Right under my nose. So, man, I don't regret none of this. I don't regret any of it. It's my son. That's my baby. There's no way that his brother and sister should know what he feels like inside. There's no way. I don't feel no remorse for the death of them demons. Okay. All right.
Okay, so all right, can y'all kind of understand what's going on? I don't know if you heard everything, but this is a mother, okay, who found out that her two oldest children was molesting their younger brother. And what she was talking about was how the older daughter, when she was on her menstrual, she would sit on the little boy's face, and that's why you heard the mom saying, "Oh, mommy, you know, it stinks real bad." I mean, the older children was literally molesting, you know, this little boy, and that's when she was also talking about how when she found out, she was starving the children, like she took them through hell. And her point was, you know, those weren't my children; those are demons. Even though she birthed them, you know what I mean? She looked at those children as demons. And the sad part is too, there was another clip where, you know, the children that she killed, their fathers were in the court, and them like, I don't know why y'all here now, because when I needed help with here you have this mother. You know what I mean? I don't know what kind of support system she's in or whatever, but her only need was the fact that her children was molested. So,
hey, Sister Raziki, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's your if it's your phone or my phone, but you're breaking up really bad. Are you on the computer or are you on your cell phone?
Computer. I'm on the
okay, so maybe I was in a bad area. Okay, so you said that you just showed a clip of a mother who basically, I mean, took the law into her own hands. She ended up did she kill the people or what did she do?
She killed her 2 oldest children because they were molesting their younger sibling. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Right, and she said she does not have any regrets.
She said she had no
remorse. She said she doesn't have any regrets.
No regrets, no remorse, because those were demons. Those weren't her children. And so my thing is, okay, because I know the thing we're talking about mothers, right? So when we hear about mothers putting their children into these kinds of situations, what do we say about the mothers in these kinds of situations? And even though it may be rare, but I'm also bringing back at how important it is to help these mothers know what to do. You know, like who did she have to go to say this is what's happening in my home, and before I kill these children, what do I do? So, you know, understanding that,
right.
like Sis said, you know, it's a lot of stuff that single parents you don't know. But then, like, you know, if you don't know, we should also be aware that we got to create community. We got to create groups and sisterhoods to say, all right, sis, you know, we are here. You know what I mean? Like, there also has to be some sort of level of stepping up too, because not everybody know how to cope on their own. And like I was saying,
right.
when the fathers of the children showed up in court, and mind you, these are the fathers whose children was killed for molesting somebody else. That's why the lady went off and was like, well, where the heck were y'all when I needed y'all? Don't come here now because I killed y'all children. You should have been
right.
already, you know. So it's like, well, what do we say to these mothers? How do you even view that kind of situation? You know, as the mother, like, you know, that's kind of finding out some foulness is going on between your children. Like, what do you do? How do you handle that?
I mean, I think killing the kids was a bit extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, you know, I don't condone the murder, you know, of our babies, even though I understand that these babies, you know, I don't even know how old were the children that were committing. How old were they?
Like, one was 13 and the other one was like 11 or 12 or something like that. But they were above 10, and the little boy, I think, was like 6 or something like that. He was
right.
Really, yeah.
So these babies knew better. You know, they were at an age where they knew better, but still they were babies. I mean, at the end of the day, but you know, they knew better, but they still were babies. I think that killing those children, in my opinion, was a bit extreme. Right. I definitely think that she should have disciplined them, you know, had them locked up or whatever. I think killing them, though, that was a bit too much for me. That was a bit, you know.
Mentality. And so I can understand, you know, that being extreme, but then too, and we can't lie or deny. Black folks forever have always made this joke. Well, if I bought you in this world, I could take you out.
Yes, they have. Yes, we have.
Exactly what she did. So this is another thing with our community. Like, you know, we're quick to use all these cliche statements, but then when it happens, you know, like oh my God, what happened? And that saying is literally what she did. And in her mind, those weren't her children; those were demons. So it's like, okay, what is it that she went through? And again, going back to like we were talking about earlier, where you're planting your seed. So now you have a mother who only solution she felt was good enough was to kill these children. Like, what mentality, what mental issue does she have?
Yeah, she definitely has a mental issue. That's a fact.
I'm just like, when I saw that, I was just like, wow, like I didn't even know how to feel about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because now if it was a stranger who was doing that stuff to your child, you would have killed their ass. I know I would have.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah,
But
they
in
would have.
her mind, it's you know, but outside looking in, but dang, she birthed these people. But on her side, how do you distinguish the difference? I don't give a damn if I birthed you or not. This is what you did.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
stuff like
Yeah.
this happens. Stuff like this happens. There's a little girl in Philly who, you know, I kind of grew up with, and her brother molested her, but the brother was sent off somewhere. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, these are issues that we have to have some kind of protocol and help and therapy, you know, working, because man, this stuff is like crazy.
Yeah, I agree, Sister Riziki, with you that there needs to be a protocol on how we deal, you know, with situations. I remember one of my good friends said to me, she said, look, she said, she's like, you know, I ain't gonna say she's a fairly new mom. Her son is 7. And I was kind of scolding her for a decision that she made. And she was like, look, check this out. She said, you know, being a mother, it doesn't come with a handbook. She's like, there's no handbook for how to be, you know, a good mother. So she was like, I'm just trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? She's like, I'm just trying to figure it out. So I agree with you, sis, that there definitely needs to be some sort of protocol, some sort of training that women have to undertake before they go out here and procreate. And that is why the rites of passage programs are so important and should be in every school, and it should be in every community. You know, and within that rites of passage program, sis, that we teach these women how to be women first and foremost, then how to be a wife, then how to be a mother.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? We got to teach our babies. So like you said, there needs to be a protocol set up to how to deal with certain situations. And where should they learn it? At the rites of passage program.
Yeah, for real. We slipping on that stuff. We don't it's just like graduating. We'll send our children to college and go in debt for it, but like, you know, trying to create and enter in the rites of passage program, man, that's a whole other story.
Yeah. And I agree with you. I agree with you. Like you said, and then you know, what kills me, we send our babies, and then we can do a whole nother show on that. That we send our babies off to a college or university, and they don't, we, you know, and there's no plan.
Right.
There's no plan. We just send them to school without a plan. You know,
Right.
they're just in school.
Yeah.
Thousands of dollars are being spent, you know, and there's no plan. So what are you going to do with
Right.
this degree? What are we going to build? How is this degree going to empower you? How is it going to empower our family? How is this degree going to empower, you know, our community or our ethnic group? There's no plan.
Right.
You got children going to
Exactly.
school spending thousands of dollars on a damn degree that don't empower them. And let's stop saying And let's stop saying, and we got to do away with the family superstition that to get a good job, you have to get a damn degree. Like, we have to do away with that. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people with college degrees. And my aunt will
Working
tell
at
you this.
Taco Bell.
Yeah, my aunt will tell you this. She's a recruiter for Food Lion, and she shared with me that there are people who have applied, you know, for positions at Food Lion, the supermarket, and these are people with master's degrees, bachelor's degrees, you know, doctorate degrees, you know, and they come out and they can't find a job. So you done sent your child to college, went in debt with this degree that you're not even using. Like, we got to cut that out.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, we
Yeah.
got to cut that out. We got to cut that
Right.
out, sis. So hold up, keep on talking, sis. Give me about 3 minutes because I'm almost to the house so we can end the broadcast. But I think that we should do a whole
Absolutely.
show on that. And I agree with Sister King that we need to have another episode called Dear Black Mothers. I'm telling you, Dear Black Mothers, and
Mm-hmm.
really talk about
Yeah.
mothering, talk about healing,
Yeah.
talk about a proper diet for our children. You got these parents, and I just had a conversation with one of my cousins a few
Talk
days
about it.
ago, you
Talk
know,
about it.
and I was talking about diet. And she and I were, you know, her children, they eat chicken, turkey, and beef and all of that stuff. But what I was explaining to her is that, you know, a lot of these meats, they're pumping estrogen in the chicken, in the turkey, in the beef.
Yes.
And I said, do you
Yes.
know what you're doing to him? Like, do you really know what
Right.
you're doing to your son, whose body is meant to have more testosterone than estrogen, but you giving him that have estrogen in it? Do you really understand what you're doing to his testosterone level at this point and how you're damaging him? So we need to definitely have a conversation about dieting. We need to have a conversation about healing. We need to have a conversation about proper education, proper socialization, the do's and the don'ts of dating, because you got sisters that are just dating anyone and bringing one of my other cousins. We were talking about that earlier, how women just bring, you know, different men home to their children. So we need to have a series, Sister Riziki, where we talk about it all and invite, you know, Black mothers on the show to share, you know, their experiences, you know, and lend us their expertise. What do you think about that, sis?
I mean, I'm definitely. Oh snap! Can you see me still? What happened?
Let me look. No, I can't see you.
Dang it. Okay, well, no, I totally agree with that. And two, like, it's important for women to know, and this is what we do, like even on our little tantra retreat. Like, we got to stop being embarrassed and ashamed. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a safe space, and the most help I get is by being transparent like a mug. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, a lot of us won't seek help because we don't want to face the possible guilt that we may feel by admitting, like, okay, we're inadequate, we need help. And you know, you not the per mom. And I'm gonna say this: me and my mom had this conversation the other day, and she was like, you know, and I don't put my family business stuff out there, but there's some risks. You know, it's a lot of generational BS and favoritism, and you know, stuff.
Sister Riziki. Sis. Oh man, I think Sister Riziki is out of there, or am I out of there? I believe that her call dropped because she's on her cell phone. Family, we're going to be ending this broadcast soon. As you can see, I'm walking up the steps in my building, so we will be ending this broadcast soon. Joining us, I think that this was definitely a very healthy and productive conversation, and we're going to do this more often. Dear Black mothers, so the topic for the first show was, you know, stop endangering our babies. Stop putting our babies in dangerous situations because you're lonely. And that's what's going on. You're lonely.
If I could have did something different as the parent, you know, what would that have been? And so, like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, if I answer this, will she get offended? But then I'm like, well, no, there was only so much that question.
Sis, you're breaking up real bad, sis. Sis, you're breaking up real bad. Sister Riziki? Yeah, you're breaking up real bad, sis. So we're going to bring this to a close, family. This is not going to be the first and last show. Dear Black mothers, first topic, stop putting your children in dangerous situations. Before we go, I want to shout out the chat room. Let me see. You have Sister Lessa Darcy in the building, 2017 BAM. Christina's Life. Do the Knowledge Radio. Peace and love to you. SAA Freedom School. Peace and power to you, family. Black Melanated TV. 180 TV. Peace and power fan, Brother Sean T. Kalafani. I believe I'm pronouncing it right. Peace and power to you, brother. You had Alpha Dale Empress King, who joined us. Thank you so much, sis, for your words, your transparency, and your accountability. Ali Dow with L. Thank you so much, brother. Is it Shalom? I think it's not Shalom. You're L. So it's Islam. Islam, brother. Sis is in the building. Peace to you, sis. Living Soul Journey. Peace to you, family. Then we had Cache Ivy earlier. Iron Kong 26. Kiki with it. Peace, family. Brother Doug. Peace to you, brother. Let me see who else. Makai Zadek Salam. Peace to you, brother. God's gift always. Peace to you, family. Formerly Geneva, peace, family. Matt Tip, peace, family. Tiv T, peace, family. Yes Patai, peace, family. Calvin McDougal, peace, family. And let me see who else. I think that was it, family. So peace and power. Peace and power, family. Peace and power. Love you, and I'll shoot you a link the next time when I come up with a topic. All right? Peace and love.